Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Real Debaters. I'm Micheal Petrow, your host and one of the debaters on the show. This week in the living room, you've got Christopher Stanton, Mark Cowell, and special guest Denzel Leblanc from Wesley Studios podcast. We met Denzel last year at the 2019 Winnipeg Podcast Festival, Podfest. He sat down, shot the shit with us for a couple hours while we were there. Thought, man, you got to come on the show. You know how to talk movies. So for anybody out there who hasn't heard his podcast, you can find him on Apple, Spotify, and his YouTube channel, Wesley Studios Podcast. It's a really cool interview series. He talks to a lot of different Winnipeggers from a lot of different walks of life. I know specifically he's had on a couple different musicians, some bodybuilders, someone who hunts ghosts. So if you're looking to add a new podcast to your 2020 roster, please go share some love and check out Wesley Studios. This week, the debate was inspired by the 1992 classic The Bodyguard, starring Kevin Costner and Whitney Houston. I wanted to talk about the people who protect each other in movie history. So we came up with an idea where you had to come up with like a backstory for who you were. Whatever walk of life, you could be like an evildoer, you could be a good person, whatever you were, you just had to find out a reason why you needed some protection. And the whole debate is based on not only who you picked to protect you, but as well, points are awarded for your backstory, how interesting it was, and the problems you were causing, or the problems you were trying to solve in real life. So without further ado, I'll cue the reel, and you enjoy the show.
And now I'm calling like Adam Driver on it because he also does not watch any of his own stuff. So
I can't imagine a lot of people do.
Well, there was an article this week that Adam Driver does not want to be known for being Ben Solo or Kylo Ren. Like he's just completely over it and wants to move on. He walked out of an interview when someone was he was there to talk about Marriage Story. Yeah, that's all he wanted to talk about.
Okay, I can see that.
So he's just Harrison Ford all over again.
I heard they tried to play a clip for him, and he's like, "No, I'm not gonna watch this." And then he walked out of the interview. Yeah. So I'm just pulling the Adam Driver card over here.
Okay, that's fine.
It's artistic.
I've done 86 episodes. Have not listened to one.
It's hard to I listened to them just when Chris has been like, "Hey, I think there was like a glitch here."
Or if I have to cut something out, it'll be like, "How do I not listen to my voice but still get rid of it?"
86 episodes. 86 episodes of what? Who's this new voice on the podcast?
His name is Denzel. Is it Leblanc or is it Leblanc?
Leblanc.
Leblanc. How so French? Yeah.
Yeah. LEBlanc.
Any relation?
To Matt?
Yeah.
No, because I wouldn't be
to
sitting
Steve.
here.
Do you know Steve? He lives just around the block. Who's fucking Matt?
My rich, non-existent cousin.
Yeah, no, that is a new voice. That's a new voice in Jimmy's chair over there. It's Denzel Leblanc from
chair smells.
Is
from
ketchup and onions.
Jimmy, apparently you need to shower. That's what we've realized here. That's Denzel LeBlanc from Wesley Studios, local Winnipeg interview podcast, which I love. You're great.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no, you really.
It's a lot of fun, man. It's fun meeting new people and obviously meeting you guys and getting the invite to come on over here. I'm really appreciative. So.
Oh yeah, and I think when I started this whole thing, I was finding other Winnipeg podcasters to be like, any cheat notes, any tricks, and I found you first. I think you were the first one I found when I was like, Winnipeg Podcast.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you were the first guy that came up. So I've been following you since we started this a year ago.
And it's been a year for you guys?
It was a year in November. Well, okay, we finally got online February 2019.
Oh, wow, okay.
We'd been recording since November, but fuck ups, learning figuring stuff out. There was 5 episodes that never
The Lost Reels.
Oh
yeah, I remember.
Yeah. We had one full deletion where I'm like, I'll just put this here, and then didn't realize that every single file from an Audacity recording is separated.
Yeah.
So I handed the computer over to our tech genius, Mark, and Mark was like, so how bad do you want this episode back? I'm like, well, why? And he's like, because everything is like, it's like thousands of subfolders.
1,700 10-second clips.
Yeah.
What the hell, really?
That's how
it's a
Audacity.
weird the way they lace it together and have all the different tracks overlaying. That's how I think they allow you to manipulate it, is they record everything kind of on its own, so you can like.
Yeah.
Huh.
So
it's complicated. It's a complicated package.
It is. So welcome, Denzel.
Yes,
Thank you for
pleasure to be here. I love talking movies, and I don't get to do it enough. So
this is the living room to do it in.
It is absolutely 100%.
So before we kick into the whole bulk of the show, I read something this week, and I kind of wanted to get your guys' opinion on it. Warner Brothers has bought into the new AI idea from a company called Synlytic. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Where they use an AI-driven program that will tell you how to distribute your movie properly. You can plug in, it's actually more than that. What the article said was you can plug in your actor, your budget, your genre, and your story, and the AI will tell you what people want and how well it will do in certain markets. They said that it still needs a human touch. So like the creative aspect of it is still required.
So the whole point of an AI is to have no human interaction.
Well, yeah, but they also said that AIs usually trend on a forecast, right? If they come up with an answer, it's more conservative. Mark,
because what they've learned on it already, right?
Exactly. Yeah. It's based on a forecast of previous information, where this one's leaping forward going, no, we're going to tell you based on what you've just told us, as opposed to 10 years of information that you have. And then you can kind of, like a farmer's almanac, so to speak, for fucking movies.
Can you imagine if they use it to be like, okay, but just leave everything else the same and sub out.
Just keep plugging in different actors.
Exactly, subbing out your star role.
Well, that's what I
remove Jared Leto, insert Christian Bale.
No,
yeah.
Look at that.
In the article they used remove Keanu Reeves, insert Tom Cruise, and that's what made me think of you, Mark.
And it just plummeted to horrible depth.
Denzel, just for backdrop, Tom Cruise and Mark don't get along at all. I don't know where
Fuck that little voodoo motherfucker.
Tiny Tom Cruise from Family Guy, you mean?
I don't know. Do you even not like Tom Cruise in Tropic Thunder? Like,
I like Tom. You know what? I like maybe two.
Do you know what's
Tom Cruise?
Well, crazy?
You're a big Top Gun fan, or is that more you?
No, Top Gun was okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge Top Gun fan in the fact that it's one of the movies from my childhood. But in all aspects of the movie, I mean, I can take it or leave it. But it was just interesting. So what are your guys' thoughts on using AI to predict what we want?
It sounds a lot like that TV show on Spike where they picked two, like Genghis Khan versus King Henry.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
You remember that?
And they do the whole rundown of
Deadliest Warrior.
Yeah.
And they would have a computer program where you input their data and then they fight and then it picks the winner. That's exactly.
They used to have one with animals too.
Yeah,
where it could
they
be
did.
like,
yeah, they had like a
tiger versus a shark.
Yeah,
they had it on Discovery Channel. Yeah, totally.
That's exactly what it sounds like.
I liked when they started running out of ideas and they would just be like, "Oh, a Marine Corps versus just a ninja."
Yeah,
like, well, come on, you just shoot him in the face.
Green Berets versus Nazi Germany. Like, all right, so that's never gonna happen.
But the reenactments always happen in the daytime for whatever reason.
Like nobody fights at night ever,
Yeah.
right? Historical battles never. They take place between 9 to 5.
The acting's so bad too.
I just like these studios pay a lot of money to a lot of people to come up with a lot of great ideas, and they I can just see it spiraling out of control where it's like, we don't need writers because we can just plug an idea into this and see what the AI says. And it's like, I know everybody always says as soon as an AI product comes out, we still need humans for some regard, but this one sounds...
Someone's got to program it, but it sounds like a waste of money.
They're going to find out that there's some like hidden lines of code in the AI program, and there's certain actors that are going to get hired now.
Yeah.
They've inputted into it.
Jimmy would be able to talk about this better if he was here, but there's a guy on Twitter who...
does the bots?
Does the bot thing. He puts in like, I fed this bot like thousands of sci-fi movies, and then it just like puked out what it kind of thought was like the algorithm, I guess, puked out whatever the formula would have been.
Okay.
And it turns out really hilarious
because it's so funny.
Because the sentences are very like not structured very well. They're very choppy, but it still makes sense. You still are reading like a very generic kind of sounding genre movie, whatever the topic is at the time.
Which I guess is where they say you need the human to kind of round the corners a bit and make it more interesting.
And
but
that's what maybe is gonna start ending up happening, right?
That's my fear. fear
when
is
you
that
get your little
you won't-
3D printed object, you still need some sandpaper to buff it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Someone's got to paint it, right?
Put on the final detail.
Trace it, paint it, give it some life. Yeah, totally.
They did one where they're like, the guy I force fed a bot to watch thousands of hours of Joe Rogan, and it's just all of his clips. Like, it's just like, what do you think of elk meat? And then the guest is like, I tried DMT. Then the next one's like, what do you think of aliens? It's just back and forth. This bot is just, it's so funny. If you ever get the chance to read them, they're hilarious.
I will totally check that out. Okay, cool. Well, let's slide right into what we know best here. Mark, we'll start with you. What did you watch this week?
What did I watch? You had to start with me. And what did I watch? You know what? I tried, Mike, to watch a movie this week, and I didn't.
Okay.
I fell down the hole of other media. So I know we don't like to touch on that much because this is the Real Debaters. But I'm a big proponent of blurring the line between, as we did in our last episode,
and talking too much. What did you watch?
Of streaming services,
Yeah.
and how whether a movie released on streaming services is a movie. We got The Irishman. We have Marriage Story.
Yeah, those
released on Netflix, right?
yeah.
That had to do small theatrical releases to be considered a movie as far as
30 or 90 days. I can't.
Is that the
remember.
definition of a theatrical
It
release?
has to have a limited, certain number of theaters for a certain amount of time.
Is that why The Irishman went to like one select theater just so they could get Golden
Yes.
Globe nom? Is that
Exactly.
why?
For the awards shows.
Shit,
Netflix
okay.
bought that theater, Denzel, so that
Netflix
they could
movies
do
can.
that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ!
It's like a bullshit loophole thing. Anyways, I didn't even watch a fucking movie, but I watched Don't Fuck with Cats, and it's amazing.
That's a documentary.
I don't care. It's fantastic. It's
That's
it's a documentary.
I fucking
movie.
watched a documentary. It's a movie.
Yeah, but it's not theatrical
I don't
release,
give a
right?
fucking shit about theatrical release. I want you to watch
Okay.
some sort of content that's movie based.
I watched
so great.
Don't Fuck with Cats, and I literally have like 20 minutes left
Fucking
at the
excited
end,
you watched
and
it.
I fucking love it.
Is it
My
really
heart
that good?
I was on the edge of my seat the entire time. I could picture myself being behind the keyboard of the internet nerds that are searching for him. Like, it's so fucking good.
Tell the world what Don't Fuck with Cats is about.
Don't Fuck with Cats. Well, the basic premise of Don't Fuck with Cats is like the rule zero of the internet. Like, you can pretty much do anything, but just don't fuck with cats.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. Okay, go on.
Right, which is it's Cat Day today, so this is all part of the
this
theme.
is all kind of going into because we're going to the cat show later
It basically
tonight,
follows the
talk about that
story of the ability or the trying to identify and then trying to catch Luca Magnotta, who was
a year and a half before we all knew about Luca Magnotta.
Yeah, so he posted a video of him doing horrible things with animals, cats in particular. And that just sent the internet into an outrage because you can do things to humans and you can do things to other things, but don't fuck with cats.
Don't fuck with cats.
So then there was this huge group that got together of I think at one point there were almost 20,000 strong.
Yeah, that Facebook group
Christ.
just got overloaded.
Searching and tracking every move. They took every single frame, took the video, they exported it to every single frame as a separate JPEG, and then blew everything up and analyzed every piece of the room to try to identify which country he may be in. Because that's all they had was the video, and the one that just amazed me was there's an electrical socket in the corner, and they're zooming in it. They're like, is that a European socket? Is that found in Canada? Oh, he's in North America, and then they find a vacuum cleaner, and they find the exact model on a vacuum cleaner forum on the internet.
Yep.
And it's only available to be sold in North America. I'm like, holy shit! I could see myself doing this.
Well, I do that with movies.
Yeah.
When they like Marvel Studios set photos. I do the same thing.
It's the people that find those hidden Easter eggs would be so good at this.
And then,
anyways, it's awesome. So they end up identifying him way before, and they're telling the police, this guy's he's now put out 3 videos where he's killing cats. He's going to kill a human. He's escalating. And it's like Minority Report. You can't go and arrest somebody for a crime that hasn't been committed yet.
Exactly.
Right? So even if the people are really frustrated, the police aren't doing anything, but the police are like, well, we don't really have too much to go off of yet. So anyways, it's just crazy. And the whole Luca Magnotta himself, they found that he created 50 to 100 or maybe more fake social media Facebook accounts, and then started his own fan groups, and all of his fake accounts were the only fans on his fan groups to try to make it seem like he was some internet celebrity.
Oh, Jesus
Because he was
Christ.
just a total like
He was status.
Go watch it, 100%. I don't want to ruin the rest
Okay,
of it.
yeah,
Go
I'll
fucking
have to
watch
it then. Yeah.
It's a 3-hour documentary broken up into 3 different parts.
So good.
It's so me and Shauna, because Shauna, we don't want to watch cats get hurt, right?
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
And the video, like for anybody out there,
It's disturbing.
it's disturbing, but the videos are edited accordingly. Netflix isn't going to make a snuff video, right? They
Yeah,
cut
yeah.
it right before it happens.
But you know what's
So
happening.
then they're just
and it's
promoting
horrible.
it at that point,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. They're also promoting gay Jesus in Brazil, which is a huge fucking deal. But that's a tangent.
But people are way
Anyways.
more pissed off because he finally kills a human and does
Yeah.
it on video
Yeah,
and releases it on the internet, and people cared more about the cats.
they did. It was 18 months before he went and and through the first 2 segments of the movie, he's getting, like any serial killer, he's getting more ballsy, right? He's pushing the envelope, so to speak. And then finally, they're like, "You're gonna have to arrest this guy for something." And then
I don't
lo and
want to give
behold.
this guy too much credit, but he knew how to leave clues. Like he would embed clues. Like he'd release a video, but the song playing in the video would be like it's like a movie. It would be a clue
Yeah, literally, yeah.
to
Holy
searching
shit.
somewhere else on the internet and finding out where he might be. There's one video where there's a poster in the background, and the poster was a hint to where he was traveling next.
Oh my god.
And he's laid all these clues out for people to find, and then on top of it, I know again, I
Yeah, no, I know.
he
yeah.
joined the group that was chasing him as an insider with fake profiles and
would,
saw
like,
what they were
throw
saying from
them
the
bullshit
inside.
to, like,
It was
throw
fucking
them-
crazy.
Yeah. No, it's
Yeah.
nuts. It's
It's
absolutely nuts.
awesome. Everybody go watch it right now.
Okay, how many
Cats.
cute little kittens that didn't get killed out of 10 do you give it?
You know what? I honestly like 9.
Yeah.
9 solid.
I binged
Good
it.
documentary, and
That's
the
what I've
way
been
that
hearing
it's
too,
done
yeah.
is very, very modern.
Yep.
You know, the way that they zoom in on like search boxes on the internet, and then somebody will say something, it'll flash to like a like button,
Yep.
like going up or down. Or
That's good. That's good.
It's,
Yeah.
it's good editing. It's well done for today's consumer, for sure.
Go watch it, everybody. Don't fuck with cats. That's all we have to say.
And don't fuck with cats.
Don't fuck with cats. Chris.
Yeah, I don't think I talked about this before. I watched Kubo and the Two Strings.
What is that?
It's a
What the
stop,
hell is that?
Stop animation.
Oh.
From director Travis Knight, who's I just want to go back.
I like me some stop animation. Is it claymation or is it?
Yeah, it's stop animation. It's mixed in with CGI as well.
Okay,
a little bit
all
of
right.
stuff.
Takes a long time to
he's-
make a stop animation film, so some CGI was probably.
Well, he's recently he's also the producer of Missing Link, which won Best Animated at the Golden Globes this year.
Oh, that's the one that
That
beat
was
out
a
the-
huge fucking upset.
Yeah.
He's done a bunch of animation himself just over the years. Coraline, Paranorman, the Box Trolls. So this was one of his latest efforts in stop motion. It came out in 2016. He also recently just directed Bumblebee. The new
shit.
Transformer,
Oh,
which
that's
I
why his
haven't-
name is familiar to me.
Yeah,
Okay.
which I hadn't finished, but I was actually like, okay, this is a nice step in the non-Michael Bay direction
Oh,
for
good.
Transformers. I know John Cena was kind of running the ship as one of the lead actors, but that's fine. Anyways, yeah, so Kubo's kind of takes place in feudal Japan, follows the boy on his little sort of journey. He has this magical kind of lute guitar thing, and he takes on demons and yada yada, and it's a nice, great stop animation adventure.
Cool.
Yeah.
Any voices that are now?
Charlize Theron,
Oh,
Ooh.
Ralph Fiennes.
Ralph Fiennes. Yeah,
Fiennes. I always
Yeah.
get that kind of messed up.
he's fine.
Yeah,
Fiennes.
George
Fiennes.
Takei.
Is that Welsh?
George
George
Takei.
Takei.
Nice.
Matthew McConaughey.
Holy shit.
and
What?
Rooney Mara. Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Hey, Rooney Mara. Nice segue. dude.
Rooney Mara. Nice. That's coming up.
Keep
later.
that in mind for later.
One of the problems with most of his movies, though, and it's nice actually seeing Missing Link getting some recognition, is they haven't really done well at the box office. This cost, I'm seeing here, $60 million, and it made a box office total of 77. So not really breaking even. But Travis kind of comes from wealth, as his parents, I think, are the owners of Nike. So he's doing
okay.
Oh,
okay.
Jesus Christ.
Like Phil Knight is his father?
Yes.
Like, okay, he's fine. Daddy, can I make a movie? Can you
Yes.
sell some shoes and let me make a
here's
movie?
Here's $1 billion. Have
Yes.
fun.
Yeah, yeah.
I he's got the money and the resources to do something like that, and I've enjoyed his movies
Sure,
over
yeah.
the years. So yeah, he does definitely come.
He can do
from-
passion projects out the wazoo.
$60
Yeah.
million passion project.
Yeah, his dad is net worth 37.6 billion.
Jesus.
So
Shit.
oh no, we only made 77 million off this movie.
Isn't it always
jeez.
funny how you see the box office things that you said it cost $60 million and they only made $77 million? If you went out in 5 years said I only made $17 million the last 5 years,
Yeah.
you'd be like, oh, you're a
Get
disappointment
fucked.
to the family.
Get fucked, buddy.
Yeah.
Only 17
Maybe
million.
if you sold some shoes, boy.
I made $130,000.
yeah.
Follow in your father's footsteps. Do the right thing.
What is your
right?
dad own
Just do it.
Reebok? No, he owns
Yeah.
Nike. This is a Nike family. You will make Nike money.
Like the movie, like the end credits is brought to you by Nike.
The same kids that made the shoes are the ones putting the movie sets together and stuff.
Oh, wow.
But they're doing the stop motion. Takes forever.
It's a promotion from a sweatshop to a stop motion animation
You want to make
studio.
15 cents a day? You do this right.
The tiny hands are really good for
Yeah.
manipulating.
Get right in the joints. Oy. We do not support sweatshops, FYI.
No, but like I said, it's nice to see Missing Link do well at Golden Globes because his studio is always kind of most of the movies haven't done great. They're not DreamWorks or of course Disney or even Sony Pictures or whatever. So it's kind of nice that Missing Link might get a little bit boost, and maybe we can see some more of it. I can't even think of which one Missing Link is. It's one of these Abominable Snowman movies, is it? That we
Yeah.
just got bombarded with. Like
Oh,
a bunch of
Disney
them?
just made one, right?
I think so.
I think it's
Hang on.
called Abominable.
Isn't there
isn't
one
it?
called
Abominable-
like Smallfoot or Little Feet?
Oh,
And
yeah,
it's
that
like
was
the
with
opposite-
Channing Tatum.
It's like the opposite, like the snowman discovers humans.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
you have little feet.
And then there's a new one where this Yeti has superpowers and
that for 80 minutes.
Yeah, like it's
awesome.
Mr. Link recruits explorer Sir Lionel Frost to help find his long lost relative.
Hugh Jackman is in it.
Yeah, Hugh Jackman, Stephen Fry, David Williams.
You know,
Matt
that's
Lucas,
a solid sounding cast. So.
Zach Galifianakis, Timothy
right on,
Olyphant,
man.
Zoe Saldana. Like, there's a Emma Thompson. Fuck, like
Jesus.
they got a lot of voices for that, and the animation is a nice break. Like the standard Pixar, the standard Sony Entertainment. Like you know them. They've been jammed down our throats for years to see an underdog win in that category. Because I was watching it, 3 Disney movies,
It beat
and they
Toy
knocked,
Story,
it
right?
beat Toy Story, it beat Lion King, and
Oh,
it beat
Jesus.
Aladdin. No, Aladdin was an animation. What was
No,
the other
I was
one?
gonna say it doesn't count.
Oh fuck, I can't.
Frozen.
remember. Frozen. That's it.
Yeah.
Anything that can beat Frozen is a plus in my book. Okay, so
Frozen, duh.
yeah, Frozen, because they
Dose.
made the cut. Yeah. So how many potential abominable snowmen that are in the movie out of 10 do you give it?
How many,
Oh no,
how
never
many,
mind.
I don't
We're
know.
talking about
links
Missing
are
Link.
how many
Sorry.
links
I didn't
missing?
watch that
no,
one.
no. Okay, yeah, fuck.
I kind of got off because I haven't watched Kubo in a couple of weeks. So I was just like, oh, right, I got to come over the movie. Well, it's Kubo on the 2 strings, so I gave it 2 strings out of 2.
Perfect.
There you go.
Thanks for correcting my little creative fuck up there.
And Missing Link, I'll give 5 out of 5. You know, why not?
I got into, let me bring it up here. I got into 12 Strong. I don't know, have any of you other guys seen 12 Strong yet?
That's Chris Hemsworth is in it, right,
Yes.
in the helm.
Yeah. So
I've been meaning to, but military movies don't strike me as something I need to watch.
You know what?
I'm in that camp also.
I will watch them.
I like watching them. I like the suspense. I like the big held breath that you need to take in certain battle scenes where you're
Right,
like,
yeah, yeah.
So I like that aspect of them.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, go on.
Yeah. So,
Sorry, I
so
just need
that's okay. Yeah.
reminder.
Catch up. So it's the story of the original 12 soldiers who went in right after 9/11, like 32 days after. And their their job was to lace targets of Al Qaeda bases and bring in the airstrikes and take out all the Al Qaeda, because they were the strongest at that time after completing 9/11. So they wanted to defeat them in any way possible. So they go into Afghanistan. They've got all this gear, and then they're given horses, and they have to ride on horseback with a Afghanistan warlord into battle, like very ancient battle tactics that they're not used to, with all of this high-tech military gear. Chris Helmsworth, Michael Shannon, Michael Pena. It's a pretty strong cast.
Oh, Pena.
Pena's in it, yeah. So
like
there's some
Pena.
humor. Chris Hemsworth is using that Boston accent he uses when he has to be an American.
It's the only one accent.
It's the only accent he has. Like it was in what was it? It's in every movie that he's ever done, basically. So, I loved it. It pulls at you because it's based on truth, right? So it's not just some made up battle movie for some explosions and some gunfights. These guys were told that they had 6 weeks to do the op. Military planners told them it would take 2 years. They did it in 3 weeks.
Holy shit.
Yeah. And they were in the mountains of Afghanistan, the Tianji Valley. So the battles that take place are actual battles that happened. But because it was such a highly sensitive and classified mission, they came home, they walked into their house and went back to business. There was no fanfare. It was a completely classified mission until 2012. And in 2014, 2014 and 2012. 12 is when they erected a monument outside of 9/11 grounds with a guy on a horse in honor of these guys who went in. And in 2014, it was declassified and people got to know about it.
Cool.
So I give it 9 Colts out of 10.
Is that
9 thoroughbreds.
Is that the actual horse they use?
No, I don't know what horse. They used some sort of Afghan breed. Obviously, I don't know. They didn't really.
They didn't fly in.
They did not fly in.
They didn't airdrop in horses.
Yeah,
there was
Operation Horse Drop.
Operation Clydesdale.
We dropped them too high again. Shit.
Just a bunch of Clydesdales pulling a big cart of Bud into war. Sounds very American.
It's a good way to get some Helmsworth in your life without having to take another. It's not Thor, right? Because he's got some fucking acting chops. He really does.
Can I just be a total dick?
Yeah,
it's Hemsworth.
Is it?
You keep saying Helmsworth, and that's from Lord of the Rings. So
it's 2020, and my problem with pronunciation, my name signers, is still going to happen. So don't be a dick. It's fine. Okay. Hemsworth, Chris
Hemsworth.
Christopher, if you're listening, I'm sorry.
He was at the helm, but his name is Hem.
It's just Chris.
Okay. I don't know.
See, if you're listening.
I think he actually planted that in your, because at the beginning he said, "Oh, that's the one with Chris Hemsworth at the helm," and then you started saying Helmsworth.
Probably. I'm very weak-minded.
All this Denzel. He's fucking
just
master manipulator in the corner.
Walks into the room, drops a wrench in the machine, and says, "Fuck you! I'm fucking your podcast."
I'm just trying to make sure everyone gets tired of you.
What the fuck did you watch?
Yeah, buddy.
I'm gonna preface this.
Fuckery over there in the corner.
Preface this as saying I got a text at 9:50 last night.
Denzel, it's preface.
Yes. Right. Fuck, we're even. Whatever. Still doesn't help that, dude, please have a movie to review that you watched last week. I'm like, well, it's 9:50 the night before we record.
They forgot to tell him the one.
You're extremely lucky that I just finished Countdown, the new horror movie with the Countdown app where you download the app and it tells you how long you have to live.
Oh, yeah.
The girl in it who was the main girl from You, season 1. She's Beck from You.
Okay. Let's bring it up.
What's her name? I have Elizabeth Lale.
Okay.
So... You guys know the do I have to how deep? It's just
whoever's listening.
Everyone's downloading the app, and everyone thinks it's a joke because it's obvious, right? And they're all drinking around a table, and then they all download the app. One kid's he's gonna live till 96. The other kid's gonna live till 85, and then the girl, hers is 2 hours. So of course she's like kind of nervous, but obviously it's it's bullshit, right? Of course she dies 2 hours later, and then a new story comes out where another girl downloads it, and then it's all about her trying to avoid it and try and not die. But
pretty simple premise.
It literally is.
Don't
but
die.
It was a really cool twist on.
Sounds kind of like The Ring.
The horror, yeah, sort of. That you have 7 days to die or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But it's very funny, surprisingly, because Tom Segura is in it, and he's the tech geek that sells her a new phone because she wants to try and get rid of this. You can't even delete the app off your phone.
Oh.
So then eventually she figures out what's going on and tries to read the terms and conditions, and it says if you breach it, you die earlier, and then stuff like that. But then she goes to a priest, and the priest says, well, of course, there's an ancient book where it's happened thousands of years ago,
obviously.
right?
Always
right?
a story.
And then,
always an ancient book.
Then must be some sort of ritual that can...
It goes into how they protect themselves, how they can trick this demon that's killing people because of the app. And then just the way the demon looked was cool. It was different from what I haven't seen. The acting was good. The plot twist at the end was great. It was a good movie. I give it 9 out of 10 days left to live.
Sounds like that movie Truth or Dare.
Yeah. Or Happy Death Day or any of those like gimmicky kind of
It was good because like there's jump scares, but you see them a mile away. But the jump scares are cool.
Okay.
It's hilarious because the priest is, from Wolf of Wall Street, the guy with the bad toupee.
Oh yeah.
Him. I can't remember his name. And then Tom Segura is the tech geek who tries to hack the app, but he's hilarious in it. There's a post-credit scene. Please watch the post-credit scene. It's very, very funny.
PJ Byrne is who you're talking
Yeah.
about. Father John is his character name.
He's hilarious.
Okay.
They walk in on him and he's like blaring gangster rap and smoking weed, and and he's just sitting in the back of the church in this old library, just blasting black beats, and it was a really good movie. But you have to stream it. It's not on anything yet, so
Okay.
1, 2, 3 movies will do it.
That's a great suggestion. I'm having Jimmy in our lives. He's gotten me back onto like the horror thriller genre.
It's the only movies I can really watch, man. Unless
Really?
yeah, sci-fi. If it's not sci-fi, like I have a pretty hard time sitting there and watching it. To be honest.
Fuck biopics. I hate real life.
Well, to a point. Like,
Okay, yeah.
Snowden. I watched for the first
Snowden's
time like 2
great.
weeks ago. I watched it
Yeah.
3 times that weekend.
Wow.
Another little drop.
Yeah.
Foreshadowing for my
Little foreshadow droplets throughout the
Yeah.
show until we get there. Well, let's
Easter eggs.
I've podcasted
Easter eggs.
before. Don't worry about it.
He gets it. He fucks. He knows. All right. Well,
You're clearly way more experienced than we are. So
yes. Thank you for overshadowing our skills here. We appreciate it, Denzel.
Fine, I'll dumb it down for you guys.
Okay. Well,
now
moving
that
on.
I get.
Take my hand, bud.
I have a sentence I'm about to say, but until I hear some sound effects for the trailer of the week. There it is. we don't buy music for the show, Denzel. We just employ a amazing beatbox.
I've tried to do it
We
myself.
implore
and
Chris to employ his skills.
Yes, thank you.
iTunes
Words.
doesn't like
I
it when
fucking
you
hate 'em.
steal things, so I can't do it either. So don't worry about it.
Okay, let me bring up the information here. So we did New Mutants, directed by Josh Boone, who also did Fault in Our Stars and The Pretenders. Those are some of his credits. Written by Josh Boone, and I'm going to mispronounce this, Knat Lee, starring Anya Taylor-Joy, Macy Williams from Game of Thrones fame, Antonio Banderas from Hollywood fame.
Really? Oh shit.
Yeah, right.
Antonio Banderas.
Antonio Banderas.
I did not see him in that trailer, I don't think.
He's not in the trailer. He is.
Yeah.
He's post-credit scene apparently. Bad
Okay.
guy, not during the movie.
Alice Braga, Charlie Heaton, and Blue Hunt.
Would anyone like to share their first time? Rain?
I was 13. I thought it was a dream. I just lost control.
Sam?
I started panicking. People got hurt.
Roberto?
My girlfriend had burned her.
Ileana?
I killed 18 men, one by one.
So, what do we think? Who wants to go first?
I'm excited, only because I didn't know this was coming out. I remember hearing about it in 2017. This movie was supposed to come out.
Yeah.
Then obviously they scrubbed it, but I hope it does well because like I'm gonna go see it. I'm a sucker for a Marvel movie, but I hope it sets up something bigger. So like it is the intro to mutants in the MCU.
I agree.
I hope that they wrap it in together, or even with a good post-credit scene that sets up a good villain for
this series.
an X-Men reboot and
Yep.
like all that Fantastic Four
Yeah.
nonsense and stuff. I hope it ties it all together.
Well, wouldn't it technically be the first time they've used the word mutant in
It-
the?
I think they brought it up
MCU?
once in the MCU, but it was more like a passing. In Ant-Man and the Wasp, they say that. What's the mom's name?
Oh,
She's
Janet?
Janet Van Dyne.
Van Dyne. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
She's in that what's it called?
The universe.
Microverse or whatever it's called.
Quantum
Multiverse.
realm.
Quantum
Yeah,
realm.
yeah, yeah.
Quantum realm.
She's in there for so long that she's like, this place changes you. So that was like a hint, I think, towards how they're gonna spit out mutants.
As in, like the quantum realm.
Because she just gets out and fixes that girl, so they think that she mutated while
Oh,
she's in the quantum
yeah.
realm. So
Yes.
I think that was their first little
Ghost.
like, yeah, I think that was their first little like, here's a mutant. We got a
Yeah.
first one here.
Well, this
Yeah.
is the licensing part, right? Because they couldn't. The MCU and Disney and didn't
Fox
own the
and
rights to
Mutants.
mutant,
Yeah.
No, they didn't.
right? So
Really?
they couldn't use
Literally
the word
the
mutant.
word.
Yeah. So that's why they had to call them in all of the Marvel series. They call them like Inhumans or, different words surrounding that. powered
That's-
individuals.
Man, that is seriously.
Well, and so Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch have been or are mutants in the comics, but they were in the MCU, right? But they can't call them mutants. So what they call them, like, oh, special,
They're just
gifted,
special or gifted. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think something like that.
And Magneto is their dad.
Yeah.
Yes, that I picked up on. Yep.
And
Okay.
and then in the Fox movies, we did get Quicksilver.
Quicksilver and Magneto.
And they kind of hinted, oh, my dad, he like invented metal.
Guess who he is, guys?
Yeah.
I'll bring him to show and tell.
I'll give you a hint.
Well, there is the scene where he goes to get Scarlet Witch. Kind of half appears in one of the movies with Magneto. He goes to the house to get something, and there's like some reference to her, but she doesn't absorb like none of her skills or anything like that. There was some weird reference. I'd have to check it, but if you go through, it's like kind of an Easter egg thing.
It looks like a horror to me more than it looks like a traditional Marvel movie.
When
Like,
Quicksilver's in it, they have a scene at the house when he goes to get Quicksilver that Scarlet Witch is actually in the house.
Yeah, it's like his
And he
little
makes a
kid
comment about
sisters.
my sister about something, yada yada.
So like we're all hoping. I'm seriously hoping that this brings in the purchase, the Fox purchase. Like it
Yeah.
starts to kind of
I
get
can't
the balls
imagine they
rolling.
wouldn't.
It's too much money to leave
lose, yeah, like,
to
what
leave it
are
on
they-
the table and
Well, it's interesting where they're dropping it just a few weeks before Black Widow.
yeah.
Black Widow's is the first week in May, I think.
Yeah.
And that's like the first week of April. So they're not giving it like too much room to breathe. It'll probably get a nice little following, I'd imagine. I think it would have made more sense to release it around Halloween with how horrific it is.
Yeah.
But I noticed the MCU is going to kind of, I think they're hinting towards a darker part of their universe because like Deadpool's coming in and that's a rated R. Morbius, I've heard talk, is going to be rated R. Then with this movie being more sci-fi supernatural, I think that's going to hint towards where the Doctor Strange movie's going because then now Blade.
Yeah.
Blade's a darker vampire movie, right? So I
could see
think
that.
they're hinting this towards that like there's going to be your X-Men and then there's going to be your mutants. So I think they're going to I think they're going to
okay.
have it like they're all mutants but there's the darker supernatural cuz the superpowers in that movie like one girl can the first girl do you have her
I'll give you
powers
the
there?
rundown here. Actually, Macy Williams plays Wolfbane. She's a Scottish mutant struggling to reconcile her religious beliefs with the power to turn into a wolf. Anya Taylor-Joy is Ilyana Rasputin, or Magic. She's a Russian mutant with sorcery powers. She uses teleportation discs to travel. She's the sister of Colossus from the X-Men.
Any relationship to the Rasputin?
No. Yes, way down the line. Charlie Heaton, who we know is from Stranger Things.
Yep.
Right? He plays Cannonball, an American mutant who can propel himself into the air and is invulnerable while doing so.
He harnesses the power of the sun. I
Alice
believe?
Braga is the caretaker, the nurse that you saw there, who's leading the group session.
Right.
She has a protective force field she can place around herself
As
and
you
others.
do, yeah.
And Blue Hunt plays Mirage. That's a Native American mutant who has the power to create illusions drawn from the fears and desires of a person's mind. And then the one you just mentioned, Henry Zaga,
That's what it
plays
is, okay.
Sunspot, who's a Brazilian mutant with the ability to manipulate solar energy. And the whole overwhelming thing, not to spoil it for anybody, is they believe the main antagonist is Demon Bear,
Yep.
who's a bad guy who can use your worst fears against you. So they kind of say how you're living in a
okay.
cage and everybody's own worst fears being played out for them.
And I think that bear character is the one possessing the one who's running that hospital. And that's who they think he's possessing that woman to keep them all there and like work.
She's a puppet master, so to speak.
That sounds right, yeah.
All right.
Because that's again what New Rockstars told me.
No.
So I believe it.
Has to be true.
Read it online.
Eric Voss doesn't lie.
Excuse my ignorance. These are new characters, or are they rooted in comic book
Comic
lore?
book.
They are
They
rooted
are
in
comic book lore. Because
Yeah, I know some of them.
okay, because I don't know any of them. I know.
No, before this, yeah. I knew nothing.
I'm the guy who like knows the hit single on the CD, but like the really good songs that you have to go buy the album for. So like I was always like as a youth, I was always attracted to the very big characters that had the
Wolverine,
Wolverine, Spider-Man,
Cyclops.
Captain America, Cyclops. So when you get off the family tree really
Mm.
deep, I don't have a.
Well, I was kind of wondering how they're going to tie in Wolverine into this movie somehow, because all Fox movies somehow. were
Somehow.
Like, guys, there.
Wolverine is the tent pole.
I
that
think
they all
that's,
want
I
and
think that's
wander around.
Deadpool's job. Because
It-
Hugh Jackman said he'll come back if it's in a Deadpool movie.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And
So-
it just has to be the right moment. Are we all theater bound for this? Or are we
Yep.
gonna wait till you're gonna go
I'll
to the theaters
go to
for
the
it?
theater for it,
For
yeah.
Mark, what do you?
You know what? I might go to the theater for this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
What was was it a DC universe? There was another like sort of Superman origin horror movie that was coming out too.
No, it was out already. Elizabeth Banks was the mom, right?
Yeah. With a little kid starts exhibiting all these powers, kind of like Superman.
It's
except
if Superman uses powers for evil.
yeah,
not
Oh, is
good.
it
yeah, it's like a horror
Bright-
movie for
Brightburn.
Brightburn.
Oh,
Yes.
what's his name?
That's James Gunn.
James Gunn did it.
James
Yeah,
Gunn.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Did anybody see that or
No, I
No.
did not know.
No.
Maybe a 1-2 punch on New Mutants and no Brightburn.
Yeah. Well, I'm not
Evil Mutants.
I'm not as excited as you guys because I don't have the back story from my youth to go into it, but I am excited for the whole start of bringing mutants into the MCU and so on and so forth. So I'll go see it in the theater for that.
I think moving forward though, like this movie, Inhumans, Black Widow, I'm not overly excited for it. I want to see the post credit to see where it's going. That's what gets me excited.
and that's what I'm saying. Is
That's-
it like what's the launch pad
to
for
me
this?
is like where are they gonna go with this? That's why I'm gonna go see
If
it.
they drop a tie-in to the rest of the universe,
Well,
at
that's
the
what I
end
mean.
of the
Like
movie,
at the very
Yeah.
end, all of a sudden they just have like one of the kids show up to the house and it's just Dr. X's voice. Come on in, like that would be perfect. Like
that
thank
would be
you. Like
awesome.
Yeah. Well, and like just a side note, the power of an end credit scene now.
every
is-
movie does it.
Every movie does it, but now it's if everybody is doing it, it's got to be done right.
Yeah,
Because there's been some end credit scenes that then
Absolute
nothing has happened
dog
from,
shit,
right?
Yeah.
And then there's been some ones that just like make you wet yourself with excitement because you're like, oh my god, I can't fucking believe they're doing this. Like it's exactly what I want. So, yeah, if they throw an end credit scene in there, I might get a half chub for sure.
just something.
Yeah. Before we jump into the debate, Denzel, you brought up something that I wanted to do today, and we're going to come back to it in a year from
Oh,
now.
yes. Okay, right, yeah,
Once
yeah.
we figure out who does what. So you wanted to bring in basically a prediction. So to
Yeah,
speak. We're going to get a little Nostradamus on the show. Out of all of the big 2020 movies that are coming out, we're going to call it today, and we'll revisit this in December. What major blockbuster is going to be the movie of 2020?
Okay,
Based on financial success?
but what if I pick a movie like I want to pick The Matrix,
Yeah, that's fine.
but that's in the middle of the year. So
It's
it
a-
can't be the total gross because then now I only have 6 months left till December 31st,
So
right?
opening weekend then.
We'll do whatever the opening weekend is, right?
Yeah,
'Cause
biggest
that's the only
opening.
way to do it, right?
Well, really, and yeah, everyone knows your opening weekend is kind of your trendsetter for the next X
Yeah.
amount of
Yeah,
time
yeah.
in the theater until you pull. So, okay, yeah, rules are biggest 2020 opening weekend.
Can I take out a loan and go see it a million times to win?
To win 10,
Can
10
I-
20, what are we throwing down on this?
$20?
I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that too. Yeah, let's do $40 to the winner. Denzel, because you're a guest, you get to go first. So your prediction
I'm
is
gonna go Matrix.
Matrix 4.
Yeah.
Does that come out this year?
Yeah. Nope, 2021.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
No, you've locked in your choice.
Yeah, sorry.
So best of luck.
Yes, well done. You will win 2021's game for sure.
Yeah, I think Matrix.
You know what?
That comes out the
yeah,
same year as
yeah.
John Wick 4, so we're one
I
of
thought,
those.
and
Yeah,
I thought
we
it
are-
was this year
yeah.
for some reason. I
That's
don't know
okay.
why.
No, I did too.
Oh,
And-
he thinks
yeah.
he knows movies.
Yeah, so yeah. I think I know movies.
So we're
I'm
doing
fucking doing this.
opening.
Like it's my show. Fuck.
Can I pick whatever Chris Helmsworth is?
Exactly.
12 strong. 12 strong. 12 strong. The sequel.
New Helmsworth
24.
movies.
Okay, so take a second on that one because I know Mark is ready. So Mark, go with your pick.
I don't. You know what? I'm gonna pick the Fast and the Furious 9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
for box office.
I've just got off the horn here with Synalytics, and they say that FF9 gonna rock this year. Yeah, big opening weekend.
I mean, it's
It's opening Labor Day, long weekend.
that is a
Huge.
weekend.
I get a long
yeah.
weekend.
You get a
Yeah.
long weekend.
No, I'm just making this up. I don't fucking know. I don't.
Well, if it does open on a long weekend, you're right.
Yeah.
Like so, but who knows what date it's going to open? But we saw Hobbs and Shaw together. That pulled in, I think, 800 million.
Yeah,
No,
and it's a
800,
shit
900.
movie. Like it's not even.
It's not even part of the.
Yeah,
It's
it's
a
not even
spin-off.
part of the actual canon
Yeah.
necessarily. It's just
It's
two
not?
dudes. No,
Or
well, not
it's
particularly.
like loosely.
Yeah.
It pulls in both of their professions from what they were in the Fast and Furious series.
Yeah.
But it's a whole new story. So like, there's nothing that is like nobody else is.
It's not
really
a tie-in.
No,
It's just okay.
it's Fast and the Furious present Hobbs and Shaw is what it is.
It's
So-
like everybody loves The Rock and Statham. Let's just stick him in a movie and blow
Yeah.
shit up, and we'll make $1 billion. And
Yeah,
and then you
they-
slap the Fast and Furious name on there, and
Exactly.
it makes an extra $200 million.
literally print money.
yeah, totally. Okay, Chris, what's your prediction for 2020?
I'm gonna. This is for opening weekend. Yeah, Fast and Furious. That's a tough one to beat. I'm gonna go with Wonder Woman. I think Wonder Woman 84 is gonna take a really good opening weekend. But I want to say for the whole year, Mulan I think will take.
Yeah,
Gross.
I think
gross
you're right.
figure,
Yeah,
Gross out
I
the
think
year,
Mulan will
yeah.
get it. If it's even halfway sort of fun and decent and as accessible like Aladdin and Lion King last year for Disney, but you have the China market.
That seems
Who's
to be
gonna
the
want
big
it?
kid, like the family release of the year, right?
It is.
Yeah.
In the trailer, after realizing, because I never saw the Disney Mulan, I kind of skipped that one. But I agree. Mulan's my big pick for domestic for that week. Like we should have clarified this: domestic or international.
Well, none of these movies come out for a little while, so I think none of these movies come out for a little while, so I think we can fine tune the rules. But
Okay.
I think because
Yeah.
like you know how like it comes out on a Thursday.
This is my massage thing.
He's
Yeah.
We'll
massaging.
massage it as it goes
Yeah.
on.
Casting a fucking spell on me.
Yeah.
Because when it comes out on a Thursday, and then Sunday night is opening weekend. Is that how that works?
Yeah, Thursday midnight, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday by Monday morning. Box office results.
Yeah,
are
I
in.
think that's what we should pick then.
Okay, yeah. So Mulan is my pick for box office weekend, mostly because of the simple fact that it looks really fucking awesome. Like it, and it's a great story. It's a story that's needed right now. Like not wanting to get too political, but a female who wants to be a warrior to avenge her family. That's very 2020. That's very on the nose. It's very topical. So I think that's going to pull a lot of families in.
Yeah.
On top of the fact that it's finally a live action Disney that doesn't require extra animation or animals, right?
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Right?
Like Lion King,
Yeah,
Chris
well,
said it.
Jungle Book, Lion
Jungle,
King.
right?
Oh
Like,
God, yeah.
like even Aladdin was live action, but then the genie was like I don't even know how to explain that atrocity. It was funny, but I just don't know how to explain the
Yeah, Mulan, it's just a
CGI.
pure movie.
The pure movie, exactly.
Yeah.
So, and it's what people I think are finally wanting to pull. Like Maleficent is an example of live action idea as opposed to throwing in Timon and Pumbaa, who are actual pigs and rodents.
But now
Snow
they're-
White and the Huntsman.
Yes, there you go. That's what I'm talking
Isn't that
about.
Chris Hemsworth too?
Yes,
Isn't it?
Helms. He's at the
That
helm.
guy's in everything.
I know, right?
No wonder he can donate all that money to Australia. Guy donates $1 million or something like that.
All right, Denzel, back to you. 2020.
I'm
right?
giving
2020.
it to. Okay, it's at the very bottom here. Venom 2.
You know what?
Oh.
that's not a bad pick.
It
for
made a
opening
billion. The
weekend.
first one made $1
Yeah.
billion, so I can't imagine it's gonna
And
have
there's
a bad
talk
weekend.
of tying it into the Spider-Man universe potentially.
They think the next Spider-Man movie will be a Venom villain. They think the next one.
Doppelganger.
You know what?
Venom,
I
and
now I think you're
Spider-Man.
gonna win.
Well, see, I was gonna go Wonder Woman, but then you picked Wonder Woman, so I'm gonna go Venom 2.
And Carnage is gonna be in it.
He's on the poster.
Fuck, it's
Yeah.
gonna be amazing.
Yeah, no,
I'm actually really
there's-
looking forward to that release.
I mean,
Hardy was great.
Yeah,
was.
he actually did I was very nervous because I was like, I know Tom Hardy can do no wrong. Like, he doesn't make a bad movie, but I was like, it's kind of, is this really for him?
He
But
did
then-
the comedy good.
Yeah, like he's just such a good actor.
Yeah.
Like,
the exchange of the suit and Tom Hardy talk. I want to eat.
Yeah, yeah.
like
he did that
like-
voice. I can't believe he did the voice too.
That
Like,
was
that's-
him
yeah,
doing-
He did. I'm pretty
yeah,
sure
he did both
yeah.
voices.
Oh,
it was
that's
so,
even
and he
better.
was so. The interplay was awesome.
And Venom's face was his motion capture, kind of like how Ryan Reynolds did.
Archer going to tell about what happened earlier. No, no, we're not going to talk.
No,
about
we're not. No.
The way they did that was he recorded his line and then spoke into a microphone, recorded his line, spoke, and then he had an earpiece in. So he was
So he
timing
could hear
it.
himself
He was
back.
timing it with like he was having a
Oh.
conversation with himself in his ear. Is apparently how they did that,
I
which
see.
I think is cool as shit.
The scenes when he's like not with the symbiote, where like one when they're hungry and he's having that conversation is hilarious. And when he's
in
like,
the lobster tank.
yeah, the lobster tank is awesome.
Raw lobster.
He's just casually having a conversation, and
Is it hot in here? He's just like swimming in the lobster tank.
that was amazing.
Perfect. Okay, so we have Venom 2. We have Fast and Furious 9. We have, sorry, Chris.
Mulan.
Mulan and Mulan. So we got 2 Mulans.
No, Mulan and
I have Wonder Woman.
Wonder
Wonder
Woman.
Woman.
Yeah.
So-
Okay. His is year total.
So
but-
as of right now, from Thursday midnight to Sunday midnight is your time to make money.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. definitely.
I think the internet will tell us that, right? You can just literally punch in opening weekend,
You
right?
go to IMDb Monday morning. and
Worldwide or North American?
Well, we get the North American release first.
Okay,
So
we can do. We have lots of time. You guys have lots of time.
Let's go with our market, because as soon as we go into the European and China market, game over, right?
And it's always a different movie when China gets it anyway.
Exactly.
I think Mulan's not gonna fucking own China.
Well, that's kind of where Chris is thinking. I think
Yeah,
he's
they
thinking
will.
long term that China's going to show up that day, and then all bets are off.
The Mulan herself, I think, has spoken out against the protests in Hong Kong.
She has.
So
I saw that.
She's already doing promo for it.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's pulling in all the sympathizers for sure. All right, well, now that that's settled, time for the debate. Otherwise known as the debate. The debate. Let me bring up the list here today. So, this one was inspired by the classic Bodyguard movie, The Bodyguard, starring Kevin Costner and Whitney Houston.
Oh, sorry. That's all we can use.
That's yes.
I think we have a drop from that movie. Can you do that again?
So I came up with this one. I've been tinkering with this one for a while. People who are of a high profile eventually end up David Beckham's kids is where this kind of came from, because I know he's got protection, and there's a
Come
rumor.
on, are you serious?
There's also a rumor that they're RFDI'd, like they've got the chip in them. This is just on the tabloids, but I was like, yeah, eventually certain people require protection in any way, shape, or form. So I wanted to kind of frame a debate around the idea, inspired by The Bodyguard, because Whitney Houston is the best diva, in my opinion, in that movie.
And it's definitely a reoccurring plot that comes in and out of movies, right? Somebody of some importance needs to be protected from something else.
Exactly, and not so much in like a superhero villain kind of, protecting the innocent, but like someone who requires 24-hour protection.
Well, one I thought, no, we can talk about it later. I was like Smoking Aces.
Yes,
Right?
yeah.
That's one that I thought of that's not your typical.
I didn't even think
Right?
of that one.
That's somebody being protected, and then the entire movie's about people trying to get to him. Right? That great movie with Piven and...
Did you ever see the sequel?
No.
It's
bad.
There's a sequel?
You ever
See the
There's
sequel?
Smoking
Good,
Aces
good.
too.
Don't.
So that's when you don't really think of that kind of fits
No,
the
you
genre,
don't.
right? Somebody being protected, other people trying to get them.
Exactly. Okay, so
Except you're cheering for the people trying to get them most of the time. though.
you are right. That's where the chase is. So the premise basically was you're a high-profile individual who has just found out that you require a security detail and a bodyguard. Who do you hire as your bodyguard? Who are you? And what's the situation you need protection from? And Mark kind of added to this where he was like, yeah, we could just pick a bodyguard and argue that. But I like how these debates are kind of turning into points are awarded for not only just the pick, but the creative, the creative process behind it. So we're going to be judging based on who you pick, the situation itself, and then you're obvious.
So this is not a four corners match with
No,
bodyguard versus bodyguard.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. It's the scenario.
Royal Rumble.
It's the scenario and the
And
character.
in this corner.
Yeah,
And your backstory.
It's the scenario you find yourself in with your bodyguard.
Exactly. So, without carrying
And not
on.
just like, oh, he just takes me to the grocery store.
yeah, totally.
Wow, great story. Thanks.
Yeah. I use the self-checkout.
Can you go run that through for me?
He doesn't put the
Helps
cart
me carry the
back.
bag.
That drags down to like, are you really just going to buy cereal? Like, I'm here to protect you. I need you to eat better than this.
Protects my health.
Yeah.
My bodyguard's also a dietitian.
Too many calories for the day there, sir.
Cigarettes again?
Chris, start us off, buddy.
Okay, I chose Keanu Reeves' character from Speed, Jack Traven, former LAPD officer.
I gotta get on that bus.
You gotta get him. Yeah, you get on the bus.
Who was famous for helping take down Dennis Hopper as a terrorist in LA in 1992. Anyways, he's now my bodyguard, and I am the mayor of the city of Winnipeg, and I own a lot of stock in oil, and I don't want Winnipeg Transit to be a thing anymore.
Oh, boy.
So
You're a dick.
I
wonder
shut
you
it
need
down.
protection.
I shut it down so I can get more cars in the road and more money in my pockets. This doesn't go over well with the citizens of Winnipeg.
Oh, no shit, huh?
So after I lay this bill down and I'm leaving City Hall, there's thousands of protesters wanting my head, but I have former LAPD officer Jack Traven by my side. My limo has been torched. So what is our escape vehicle? Well, one of our abandoned buses. So away we go, as we are chased by many Winnipeggers, as well as police. The police have turned their back towards me. I am now a fugitive of the law, for reasons you can probably imagine.
Is this like foreseeing how Bowman's going to go out?
Yeah.
Sir, get on the bus. Is there anything else?
Very current.
I chose Jack because he's pretty skillful in all his sort of expertise as being an officer in Hollywood, especially going to the extreme to do very many ridiculous stunts. What's the cops going to do here in Winnipeg? Well, they're going to send out their police tank that they have after us.
That hasn't been used for
That
weeks.
has never been used.
A
So
$600,000 tank or whatever.
So-
Used for photo ops.
yeah.
Oh, shit.
And that's why it's easier to take down, because the guy that's driving it and the guy that's shooting it, they're not that skilled. So Jack's able to, cunningly fire back with the shots and the bullet, and then he kills them, and that crashes. Big explosion. It's great. I don't know, somewhere down Portage. Anyways, as we continue on now, the police helicopter that we also have in this city is coming down, and they're dropping SWAT on the top of the bus, and I'm driving the bus because there's only the two of us. I know it's a tag team effort.
I hope you're not paying this guy too much. You're doing all the work.
Well,
it
I will
sounds.
be. I will because
Okay.
of all the oil. He's helping.
Oh,
so
okay.
the SWAT drops down on the bus, and he has to go up, and now he's fighting them. He's battling them that way, and he shoots the helicopter, and it blows up as well. Just one bullet, right? Like that's all it
Tom
takes,
Hanks
right?
shooting
Yeah.
a tank or
It's a
whatever.
movie bullet.
Anyways, we
Magical
finally get away from all them. He takes back over driving because he's also really skilled driving. But we're coming close to a dead end. We're coming to rapid transit, which hasn't been completed yet.
Okay.
So we just take it off on a huge jump, and it kind of crashes the bus, and the bus has now been immobilized. But it's all right because we're at our destination. We have our own escape chopper on the top of this building, another abandoned building because that's just Winnipeg.
That's what I was just going to say.
So we hightail it to the top, but when we get there, who's waiting for us?
Uh-oh.
But it's Annie, Sandra Bullock's character.
Oh.
She can't believe the man that Jack's become. And with 2 shots to the chest, she takes Jack down. when he lets his guard down. I hold Jack, and he dies in my arms. Police come, they arrest me, and Annie takes a much-needed cruise on a cruise ship. Q Speed 2.
Q Speed 2 with Patrick Wilson.
And that's my adventure with Jack Tratton. Is he a good bodyguard? I don't know. It was a fun day.
It was a great bus ride.
Yeah.
You know what I really like about that story? I think you could probably tell that on stage too and get good laughs out of it too. Like that sounds like a bit.
Well,
That's what I appreciate out of it the most.
you're
That
welcome.
could just be the way you delivered it though. But again,
Probably.
comedian, right?
Good delivery
Great backstory.
of an inferior product. Chris.
Yeah, it's good, but it sucks though.
That's some no name there, buddy. I feel that a bus is a easily moving, like you're
I'm going with suspended disbelief, like a 90s action movie.
okay. All right.
I feel like we're on like MasterChef, and potentially we're expecting somebody to submit a fucking gourmet meal, and you hand in a really well done peanut butter sandwich.
Yeah. They're like, "It's
This
fucking
grilled
good."
cheese is
Like
the
it's
best
a great
cheese.
grilled cheese, but
Still grilled cheese. I like Jack. I get how I get how an ex-cop could definitely become a bodyguard, right? Like it's a smooth transition for him. But with I feel that he needs to do more. I feel
I don't
that
know
you're
why he
not
goes
getting,
evil, but it's
yeah,
okay.
his innate sense of good might have.
Yeah.
You know what? I will give it to the bus as the vehicle though, because think like there's so many places for you to crouch on a bus and you won't get hit by a bullet. So I'll give that
Okay.
a bit of realism.
All right.
It's heavy. Like if you hit it with a car, the car's gonna move. The bus will not lose that battle. It's a tandem axle, so it's got 4 wheels in the back. Very tough to shoot the inside wheel. So you're pretty much, if they pop the outside tires, I don't think they're going to have much of an opportunity to get to the inside tires.
This is true.
It's a big engine. If you get that thing going
But
at
the
100,
engine at the back, though, that's the only downfall is it's exposed.
are people chasing you? Were there people in cars?
They were trying, but we were getting away.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume
a
that
bus
because
goes
of a
200
helicopter,
kilometers an
because of a helicopter, they're shooting down.
Okay.
So, but even then though, like,
But Jack and the Magic Bullet. Sounds like
Yeah.
a children's story. Took out the helicopter.
Jack and the Magic Bullet.
Have you never laid on the ground, shot your gun up in the air, and gone ah?
And also another Keanu Reeves vehicle, right? So there you go.
This
And
is
Keanu Reeves
true.
doesn't die, right? So we've all seen the first 3 John Wick movies, right?
Yeah.
I was gonna say if your bodyguard Keanu Reeves can channel his other characters, then that's pretty sweet.
If he just has to pull some Neo and some John Wick and
Constantine.
combine
Yeah.
it in Constantine.
Yeah, 47 Ronin. You know.
It's a pretty solid pool to
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Deadpool Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
And then lastly, he's like, we need to jump into this phone booth and go back in time. And then that cue
And that's how you escape.
cue to black. Yeah. Calls up Rufus and you're gone.
Little known to you, he actually takes you back in time to before you start doing bad things and stops you from doing it all.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
kill-
then
like
really,
kill-
he's good in the end.
Like killing baby Hitler, except he's killing baby mayor of Winnipeg.
Yeah.
That'd be good. Has that been a movie actually you mentioned about Baby Hitler where someone's gone back and just kidnapped Hitler and then raised him to be good?
Sounds
That's
like
never
a-
been, I've never.
sounds like a
I've
screenplay.
never-
Is that been a-
Do
Is
you
that
want to
been
work?
a
Do you want to workshop that after? Or?
Yeah.
Is that an okay thing to do? I don't know. Is
Well,
that too...
Jojo Rabbit just got made, and that's only
Yeah.
about Hitler, so that's doing well, isn't
Yeah.
it? Like,
I feel that there's a
Is that the
great.
Hitler youth camp thing? Was that
Yeah.
the one?
Yeah.
it's Hitler's.
We saw the preview.
Yeah.
Isn't it trying to push Hitler as like a normal guy?
Well, they're
No,
trying.
no,
they're-
but he's a figment of the kid's imagination.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And the kid is like pro like Hitler.
Of course,
he's
yeah,
just
'cause he's a
growing up.
German
He's just,
kid, right? Yeah.
he's
Yeah,
the fear.
German-
He's
German,
the fear, and
yeah.
Hitler's my best friend. I think
Yeah.
he says that like a bunch of times.
But it's Taika
But
Waititi, and
it's-
we love him.
Yeah,
so.
it's not like the movie expands upon that and builds upon it.
I think you could get away with going back in time and capturing baby Hitler and killing, because like they mentioned that in Endgame,
Yep.
where
Kill baby
War,
Thanos.
War Machine's like, why don't we just go back to find baby Thanos and you know?
But
and-
according to that movie,
The ancient one can show you where that goes wrong.
yes,
well,
yeah,
because you create a new timeline, not or an alternate timeline. You don't
Yes.
create.
yes,
a new
I
one.
know everything I learned from Back to the Future is wrong.
Yeah, hot tub time machine.
All right.
that's
Okay,
good.
we can do this for days. Let's get on to mine. All right. So, I had 2 scenarios. I've made a game time decision just because the first one it doesn't like it's fun, but it's not as great. So, I am a piece of shit venture capitalist. I'm full of greed. All I want to do is just get mine and fuck the world. So, through mergers and acquisitions, I have somehow managed to get the viral medication needed for every HIV patient on the planet. It's the battery of medications that you're put through when you get HIV, and I've taken those drugs and I've increased them 1,000%. Right. So in the meeting that this all takes place in, my dickhead publicist, who thinks it's a great idea to release this to all of the money management media outlets, lets everybody know that I've done this, as opposed to just trying to keep it under the wraps and like let healthcare deal with it as they may. And so now everybody knows, and I'm trapped in my building. I'm trapped in my boardroom. And so I call up my bodyguard, say, listen, you've got to get me out of here and get me to safe haven, somewhere probably where there's no extradition or there's no political agreements between Winnipeg and such a place. Enter Dr. Christoph Waltz. I mean, Dr. King Schultz. That's the actor's name. Christoph Waltz playing Dr. King Schultz from Django Unchained. That's who I picked for my bodyguard.
The state places a bounty on a man's head. I track that man. I find that man. I kill that man. After I've killed him, I transport that man's corpse back to the authorities.
Reasons why I kind of picked him, more or less.
You'd have a lot of fun.
Well, yeah. I mean, if I ever had a rotten tooth, I got a dentist kicking around, but that kind of wasn't why.
I thought you were needing a bodyguard, not a dentist.
Well, dentist turned bounty hunter.
Okay.
That was the number one reason why I picked him,
Was
because
he
of his.
actually a dentist, or is that just a cover in that movie?
I don't know. I'm going with suspending disbelief. I'm on the Chris Stanton train, so I'm just going from movie canon alone. So, reason number 1, manners and communication. The guy's a very charming individual. He's great at diffusing situations. You've got the Candyland incident on the road where he's trying to get Django to stop being a dick. You've got the bar scene when the bartender's like, "You can't give beer to a black man," and then they go out. And,
yeah.
So there's a lot of different scenes where there's a lot of miscommunication, and he can talk anybody down. right? So anybody who's like, what they want to shoot me, they want to capture me, they want to take me for ransom. I feel that he can talk his way into communicating a proper exchange for whatever's going on.
So you're going to be staying in the public eye.
Yes.
And being protected.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. That's like I'm not being shipped off to a hidden island. I just need to escape the building because there's tons of people outside protesting. You know, I'm bad guy number one in the healthcare public eye. Number two for my pick, he went undercover. He went to Candyland undercover. So if I need intel, right? Like he was pretending to be a Mandingo fighter buyer. That's the best way I could explain that. So he sat in front of DiCaprio's character for hours brokering a deal for Django's wife. I feel that that's a really good trait when it comes to finding out who's where and what. Like he can kind of infiltrate different situations, get intel for me, so on and so forth.
Very malleable.
Yeah, exactly. His German accent. Who doesn't love listening to that lovely German accent? I mean, that would. Some people are intoxicated by an accent, which is I'm one of them. That's why I picked that. Weapons ability. He's great at long range. He's great at short range. He's got explosives when he blows up the trailer and kills all those guys putting on the masks in the movie. So I definitely feel that if it's just me and him in a scenario, he can handle himself weaponry wise. Leadership. He's great. Maybe I shouldn't say leadership. I should say, like he's a great teacher. He taught Django basically how to go from being a slave to being a bounty hunter. So me being this little fucking weasel that I am, buying up all these AIDS drugs, I don't know how to fight. I don't know how to protect myself. So I feel that he would be, pick up this gun, teach me how to turn the safety off, right? Teach me how to fight my way out of any given situation with his previously found bounty hunter skills. And lastly, his dislike of racism. He hates racism. So I feel that he's going to profile people accordingly and not get caught up with skin color or background. Very practical man, right? So when it comes to setting up my protection detail, he's going to look at every bit of information in front of him instead of just being like, well, that guy looks like he wants to kill you because he's got a mean look, right? So he's not going in one direction where something else might happen. He's a great profiler. And then lastly, his tracking ability. Like if we need to find out where people are, he tracked people all over the United States. He had to interview people and get information out of them. So if there's a danger out there and he's got to find out where it is or get to me and I'm lost in between where we're supposed to get to, I feel his tracking ability would definitely come into play and get my ass to a safe space while I continue to live out my days as the biggest asshole in the public eye in the healthcare system.
Mike, I feel as though you
made a peanut butter sandwich.
You made a great argument for his skill set and how he'd be the perfect person to hire to find you, not to protect you. To find your ass and bring you back to justice.
Now, the only gripe I have. But
it was well done.
Are you in the late 1800s or is he in the year 2020?
He's now. So the situation.
Are his
now.
weapons upgraded?
Yes,
he used like some flint, like they look like the pistols.
A musket.
If you tilted too low, well, you just lost your bullet. Sorry.
Yes, like I took everything of his skill and I guess
you can make it modern.
Brought it to today. Yeah, we normally mention that, but for all intents and purposes,
because as you're talking, I'm like,
everything is to scale.
Everything is. I told him about that earlier.
Was HIV in the 1800s? Was that when did the guy have sex with the monkey?
It was just considered a minor cold back then. Nobody really knew what to call it. So
it was just the death.
The death, yeah.
He done died.
He's sniffling. Let's just take him out now.
Shoot him. I'm not dead yet.
Yeah.
Chris, any?
I feel better. I might go for a walk.
Well, like, No, I had to keep thinking. I was hoping they were going to talk a bit longer.
The only maybe
you're gonna hide behind our banter.
If I'm going in the grand scheme of things, it was one of your more vanilla ones. I feel there wasn't like a pop to it that really stood out for me.
Yeah,
and like kind of Mark was saying,
it was a unique pick though. I'll give you that one. Like that was outside the box.
The pick's good. I think he would be someone who would be a good bodyguard per se, but
I think his cons might be too long though. Because, like, for him to infiltrate, that probably, like, over the span, that was, like, 2 weeks.
Yeah, no, you definitely like it
He's
wasn't
very,
like an
very
overnight
good at
success.
it, but it's slow. It's a slow process.
He's good at the long con.
The long
yeah.
con.
So I'm not sure if that will work.
Not the
out.
quick.
Because he's maybe good at tracking, right? Like, so
and
it
tracking
a
takes
little-
time.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Whereas I'm trapped in
So
a boardroom, and I gotta
You
get
need,
the
like-
I need instant. Yeah. Okay. I'll give you that.
He's like,
definitely.
okay, give me a couple of months and I'll figure something out. You're like, no.
He's there with his fucking ear to the ground, listening if people are coming after you. No, we just need to get the fuck out.
I wouldn't doubt that he's an improviser though. Like he probably could get you out of there pretty quick, but it won't. I bet you it'll be sloppier than if he had like to sit down, like how him and Django had a
Sloppier.
beer. Yeah, like you could do it quick, right, to get
like
you out of the
sloppier
building.
than standing on a bus driving around Winnipeg shooting at a
No, not that
helicopter?
sloppy.
Okay, all right. Love you, buddy. You're right. No, when you say vanilla, yeah, I have this tendency to either go dark or go vanilla. Right? I have no swirl. I have chocolate or vanilla. I don't have a swirl.
I feel as though, Mike,
so
you
it's-
just weren't high enough when you were going over this.
I have made some changes to my writing and researching, and they are a little bit more sober, I guess would be the best word to use. So yeah, I have a feeling that most of my weird, awkward, sexually ridiculous, dark ideas definitely came from the bottom of a bowl of weed.
It's almost like your imagination has been muted in some way.
All right, well, just for you, next one, I'll get fucking wrecked and try to write something out and see where it goes.
We need some mushrooms involved or something. I want you to pick the dragon from Shrek as your bodyguard or something.
All right. Well, Mark, let's move on to you, sir.
You know what? The year's 2020.
Correct.
We live in a digital age, and wars are fought over wires and computers. They're not fought on land anymore.
Wi-Fi is our
I'm
nuclear
working
weapon.
since I'm Canadian. I'm going to keep it here. I work for CSIS, the Canadian Intelligence Service.
Yes.
During my tenure with CSIS as a data analyst, I've come across this information that, unbeknownst to the rest of the country, that the CSIS has implemented a program similar to PRISM in the United States.
Ooh. What's
where-
PRISM? What's PRISM for backstory for anybody who doesn't know?
Yeah, I was going to say what's
It's a way of monitoring internet traffic, phone calls, homeland security type thing that was very intrusive, a la Snowden.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yes.
What he blew the whistle on.
Yes. So this is I've uncovered through my data analysis that these data sets are coming in from very strange places, that all internet connected devices are actually monitoring all the homes in Canada and relaying this information back. So all of your Alexas and your Google Homes and your smart TVs and your smart refrigerators and your dishwasher are all monitoring your every move. And the government's collecting all this data.
So hang on. The Samsung fridge is reporting back all the junk food I eat.
That's right.
That's invasive.
It knows.
I don't want my fridge knowing I eat spoonfuls
And the
of
government
mayonnaise at 2 in the morning.
uses this to control, right? Targeted advertising to you specifically to keep you lazy, eating more junk food, on your couch, feeding you the entertainment they want. So they sedate the public via information, the power of information. So I uncover this, and I want to release this. I want to be the whistleblower. I think this isn't right.
Tweet.
Right? So I'm going to release this information on the web, release it out to the public, but I've seen what happened to Snowden. So I need to get out of Canada to begin with before I release this information. So I'm going to secure my safety prior to the release. So I figure I need to get out of Canada, need to get out of North America, and I escape to Europe with this information. Sweden, actually, in particular. Yes.
Neutral ground.
Yeah. Well, I'm white. I'm blonde hair. I'm gonna blend in
You could
better,
pass as
right?
Sweden,
yeah,
yeah.
I can pass with Swedish.
You look like
Nordic.
you know how to put IKEA furniture
Yeah,
together.
somewhere in there, right? I'm not gonna blend in well in Spain. Let's just,
If you told me your name was Hans, I'd believe
right,
you.
exactly. So
Last name Gerber, first name Hans.
I'm gonna go over and I'm gonna go to Sweden. So while I'm there, I actually employ not your particular typical bodyguard, but I employ Lisbeth Salander.
I guess I must have alarmed you turning up like
If
that.
you touch me, I'll more than alarm you.
Who's
A salamander?
who's the main title girl from A Girl with a Dragon Tattoo.
And which one are you picking? The Swedish version or the David Fincher version?
I'm picking the David Fincher version, directed by David Fincher, from the set of novels by Stieg Larsson in Swedish.
Yes.
Very long, detailed novels. This character in the movie is played by Rooney Mara, which we mentioned earlier on.
Which you can't even recognize.
What movie
as
was she
Rooney
in
Mara.
early on? Oh, Missing Link or something.
Yes, we were talking about the voice earlier. And the movie features Daniel Craig, Christopher Plummer. Anyways, in that movie, she's a private eye, right? But a world-class hacker private eye. She comes from a really dark background. She's a real introvert.
She's an adoptee, right?
Yes,
from the system.
very edgy. A kid from the system, right? She knows the streets.
Yep.
Right. This is what I need. I need somebody that can get me underground and hidden, but has the skill set to help me release this data over the World Wide Web, over the internet, but firewall me so that people can't find out where I'm releasing it from. Right. So I need like an bodyguard.
An e-guard.
Yes. So not only can she help me fit in with this underworld in Sweden, she's very streetwise.
Trademark that term.
She can protect me.
Sounds like a feminine product.
E-guard.
E-guard.
For the days when you need protecting.
So she employs her hacking skill to gain me access to get this information out.
Sure.
Protect me from the NSA and CSIS trying to find out where I am. And at the same time, helps show me around the country. She keeps me hidden. She's able to help me blend in because being a female bodyguard, we can go out and pose as a couple.
Oh,
right.
Tricky.
Right. So it's not suspicious that a man or a woman going, two men going out looks a little suspicious, right? Or some dude racing around in a bus, right? I need long-term protection.
It's also 2020.
So and she's kind of funky, right? She's got the big tattoos. It fits my persona, right? If we were out together in public, you would believe that we're sort of just a,
Hans and Yolanda, yeah.
Right, yeah. And she's very introverted, so we keep to ourselves. It's not like we're going to have a big public profile, so you probably wouldn't even notice us. She has a background in jiu-jitsu and kickboxing, so if shit gets real on the street.
Does she look the way she looks in the movie in real life?
Oh, yeah.
Because everybody notices Elizabeth Salander in real life then.
Well, yeah,
she does not blend.
She's got her hood up, and she's, racing around on a motorcycle most of the time.
Okay.
She finds a way to blend in
like
the
that
darkness.
haircut is not like...
I see what he's saying, though. I get it. Yeah,
but like everything else, that movie shows her in the daytime. At night, you wouldn't even know she fucking exists.
Chameleon.
Right? During the course of this, we clearly develop a passionate love interest in each other.
Sure, any movie that has definitely.
You don't get bonus points for banging your security guard, you know that, right?
And the stories that she tells about the way that she treated her psychologist counselor who raped her.
Yep.
Yeah,
that
really got me excited because I have a deep, dark interest in this world. Anyways, so
having dildos kicked up your ass.
Yeah, well, not that, but just the fact that she
you just wrote
the power twist that she used.
Yes,
right?
yeah,
She's a very powerful female, and I find the powerful female very attractive. Well, not being verbose, right? She's very introverted and quiet, but still very powerful in her own way. So that's basically the story, right? I have this information. I have the e-guard, living out my time in
for
Sweden.
all your feminine needs.
Yeah. Living out my time in Sweden, protected from from my former organization, and that's my story.
And you're sticking to
I
it.
never get caught.
Yes, Denzel, you can go first.
And I make the world a better place.
So when you release it, the world knows who you are, though, right?
No.
So you contacted her, she protected you, then you released it.
Yes.
Okay. How did she get you to Europe overseas?
Oh, I went prior, I said.
Oh, okay.
I escaped to Europe.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then with the information,
I
released it. But obviously, CSIS knows that I'm now gone because I didn't show up to work on Monday.
Yeah.
Fair. Yeah.
Right.
He's got this little tiny window, if I understand you correctly. You left on your own accord, then hired her.
That's right.
And then from that point on, after the drop happens, the world can't find him
essentially,
because
she met me
hidden.
when I landed.
So essentially,
in
very close to what Snowden did, except instead of northern Russia, you are now in northern Sweden.
Sweden.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I wasn't sure if you released it, then she had to protect you, but you...
See, I learned from Snowden.
Yeah,
but I got the fuck out.
You got to do it.
Yeah.
You got to leave first, idiot. Like,
and Sweden wouldn't extradite you or anything like that?
No, they don't even know I'm there.
Sweden,
right? I'm
stays
flying
out of
under the
it.
radar.
Yeah.
Oh, you're
right?
that?
I have a
Okay.
big internet presence, right? Because the persona that we put out is going to be big.
He's just chilling in a sauna somewhere in the middle of nowhere.
That's
so.
right.
And
you know, eating gefilte fish and whatever the fuck else they have.
Surströmming.
His online handle
Streusel?
is his online handle is like a
Clog Lover 69.
or like an actual name of a piece of IKEA furniture, like the Glukenhaken 69
with 2 dots over the U and
that's right.
a dash.
Yeah, exactly. I love it. I just okay. All right. So Cesis, you've implored Lisbeth. Cesis, am I saying that right? Cesis?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I feel that they would have somebody of equal power or better and still access to programs that you may not have access to. I give you credit. Lisbeth is one fucking tough hacker, but now you've got a agency after you versus just one person from the agency. So she's got one computer at her disposal. They maybe have 20 people looking for you. So I feel the protection that you have to get what you want out there is there. But after they find you, I don't know if Lisbeth can hold up against an entire agency.
Oh, I don't think she can.
Okay.
But she's my best shot at staying
true.
hidden as long
so
as
if
possible.
your end game is staying hidden, sure. I always go, how long can you stay on the run for?
I think he's good for the long term until the government eventually builds a program that can figure out where he is. You know, like because eventually they'll crack
Till
it.
I use a fucking toaster by accident.
Well, you're baked in northern Sweden. You use your debit card to get the Slim Jim.
Exactly,
and you're like,
right?
"Ah, son of a bitch!
Fucking strudel got me again.
Right? Oh wait, I got no cash here. Use this card.
Oh, he returned. He returned it. It's not him. But I feel like for the foreseeable future, she would just keep developing something new. Like they hack it, figure it out, they move, redo it. I feel like you would just every few months you're just gonna start changing.
That's right. Yeah. We're just gonna travel around fucking the Swedish
until
countryside.
Eventually they contact an AI that will predict where you're gonna go, and then
until Synalytics gets
Synalytic gets to hashtag Synalytic for sure. Yeah, I guess I'm just like what I'm looking at is Chris's argument is like he got rid of the bad guys, end of story. I get rid of the bad guys, end of story. You're continually running from the bad guys.
You are the bad guy.
Well, you
in your story, you're the bad guy, Mike.
Okay, yeah.
Getting rid of you would win. I'm the good guy.
And then I put a gun in my mouth and I win the story.
Getting rid of the bad guys who are supposed to be the good guys going after you.
Yeah.
It's just it's long in the tooth for me. Where
it's long in the tooth. It's just too real.
It's too topical. Chris, what do you got to say about this?
Yeah. Well, I wonder how well she holds up if an agency was to get you two in person and not online.
Oh, I don't think that's why I know that I don't stand a chance in person.
Okay.
That's why I've set this plan up.
So you're relying on her never being found.
Yes. And if we get exposed, then the gig is up, or the jig, or whatever's up, it's up. I think her skills at hand-to-hand combat and her real-life skills and street smarts are going to be employed to keep us under the radar, not to actually deal with.
You're Jason
threats.
Bourning it, right? You're constantly trying to stay ahead of the game, which personally I like to solve a problem and move on, as opposed to continuously outsmarting the problem. The problem still resides.
I have to keep releasing this data, though, right?
Yeah,
through WikiLeaks and through fucking the
actually,
dark net.
It's kind of funny how your story will wrap into mine. Actually,
before he does that, there's also one thing too: is that obviously all of these are contract based. I'm guessing, right? Like you have a problem, you hire somebody, they solve the problem. Are you going to continually be paying Lisbeth?
I told you we fell in love.
Okay, so money.
So at some point, I have to stop paying her, and then we live out our lives in the Swedish countryside.
I get it. Love is now the currency of what you two are exchanging.
Obviously.
Besides bodily fluids and dangerous information, love is in the air.
Obviously.
Okay, I get it. All right. Denzel, end us out, buddy.
Whew. Okay, so this was a really tough choice because I wanted to be creative. I wanted to think outside the box, but I also didn't want to die. So I went with Frank Martin, Jason Statham from the Transporter series.
A package. 1 meter 50 by 50, 50 kilos, 250 kilometers. Traveling within the speed limit, one stop for refreshments. 40,000. Half now, half on delivery.
Not the new bullshit guy. The original 3.
Yep.
I didn't pick from a specific movie because he's kind of the same throughout all 3 movies. It's the same idea, right? So I am a theoretical physicist who discovered unlimited energy, so like a makeshift perpetual motion machine. that allows me to have unlimited electrical energy. So I'm kind of like, I'm a university, like I almost kind of think of it, you know, the opening to Angels versus Demons when they have that accelerator, the particle accelerator, same idea. So it's at a university, they're studying it, I create it, and then word gets out that I have unlimited energy now. So the world doesn't like that. General Electric, the world's largest electrical company, doesn't like that.
Big oil,
stuff like that, right? So they don't like that.
Chris
so they're
hates
like,
it.
this
Chris
guy's
sends
after
a
me
team
too.
after you.
It's him and Jimmy in a bus just chasing after me. So I need protection to hide long enough to make this machine, like recreate the machine so that I can get it to the world, so the world knows that the government was trying to kill me.
Mass release it.
So that if I can get it out, so like Africa's got unlimited power now, all the third world countries there's no more poverty, stuff like that, right?
You're such a philanthropist.
I hate myself. So I need protection to get from Rome, which is where that accelerator particle machine is from, Angels versus Demons, and I need to get to, I had 2 endings, so I'm either going to northern
Choose
Russia.
your own adventure.
No, but this is the thing. Yeah, it's a Bandersnatch. I either wanted to go to Russia to be protected with Edward Snowden, but that was, we kind of discussed that might be a second Bodyguard.
Yeah. I was like, you've got the power of a second person.
And that's kind of like, I'd be protected with Snowden. But then the second one was just that I'd be, I have a colleague that I was working on in China, and I'm going to China to build this, to recreate the machine and then release it to the world.
That's the one we're going with.
Yeah, and that's the one we're going to go with. So I chose him, obviously, because he's badass, but he has a background through the Irish Army. He's a prolific in explosions, surveillance, hand-to-hand combat, and evasive driving, so he has skills on any vehicle. He can drive anything. Improvisation with unconventional weapons against his opponents. He also has his 3 rules: never change the deal, no names, and never open the package, which I know he straight up breaks in the movies, but I'm assuming prior to those movies he stuck to those 3 rules pretty good. So I even kind of came up with how I got a hold of Frank. He lives in France. That's where actually the first movie, that's where they find him first. Okay. He did a job for one of the university professors I work with to get plans somewhere else. So I contact him, say, hey, I need that guy you used. He drives over.
So you're telling me there's no 1-800 number for this?
It's not like I need protection. And
you got to know a guy that knows a guy.
Yeah,
I just thought it was more Frank. Something to add to it that I got a hold of him like, hey, Frank, I need you in Rome.
It's not like Horrible Bosses.
So then, where did I have? Anglos versus Demons. And then I just need to stay hidden long enough. So he needs to get me to China. And then with me and my colleague, he needs to protect us while we're building the machine in order to get it up and running and then tell the world, like, look.
So you're the package essentially in this?
Yes, I would be, because when I hire him, never change the deal. So the deal is you need to get me to China and protect me long enough to build the machine. No names. Doesn't need to know my name. He's just driving me around. And then never open the package. I don't tell him what I'm doing. I just say, I need to get me to China and protect me in China. Okay. So the rules fit the story.
Yeah.
There was other rules, but those are from the other movies. I was like, respect a man's car and a car will respect you. Always greet the man. Stuff like that. I was that's whatever. Who gives a shit? But yeah, that's all I got. I don't know. So he's a big anything else.
Like driving is his big strong point, right?
Driving,
like he drives the shit out of everything.
Yeah, and that's what's going to get me across Europe through Russia to China.
So you guys are driving from Rome to
essentially,
China?
Yeah. I would imagine that over time, like you're going to need to stop and get gas, blah blah blah, stuff like that. But they don't know who my bodyguard is, so if he uses Visa or anything, they don't know that I'm attached to this guy, right? So he's not necessarily hidden, but if I use something, they're going to see my name pop up and be like, "Oh, you used a gas station in Siberia or whatever," you know what I mean? But I imagine that through
because that's from Rome to China and you end up in Siberia, you took a wrong turn.
I haven't written the script yet.
You didn't GPS this, I don't think.
I haven't written the script yet.
I think he's just dragging out the trip to get more money out of you.
Is this based on kilometers?
Yeah, it's
like the meter's running.
The meter. When the car blows up, he takes the meter off this.
No, you're on foot and he's still charging.
I always kind of imagine it like, you know, how he's got his car and then, you know, it gets damaged and stuff, and then he hotwires some other car and then we keep driving, and then, you know,
but it's always an Audi.
It's always a very nice Audi. Yeah.
Audi is the biggest sponsoring fucking car company in the world. Yeah. They sponsor the shit out of everything.
I always found that What's the other one?
Skoda?
I always find that's another popular one for some reason.
Audi's in MCU is all Audi, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
every vehicle's a fucking Audi.
But yeah, I picked him.
That's solid. He's got some skills.
He definitely does. I mean, for maneuvering and driving, which is one of the biggest aspects of being chased.
Yeah.
Nobody's better than Frank Martin. Well, maybe, I don't know. There's other drivers out there. There's other wheelmen from movies.
I have a hard time saying bad things about Statham.
See, now I also thought of I was like, well, then I could just hire Baby Driver if I wanted a driver. I didn't see the movie, but I don't think he's too.
He's just a
he won't
driver.
kill anyone.
No.
Yeah.
Where if we get somewhere like a hotel we have to stay in and people come into the building, I'm gonna still be okay.
Well, Frank is ex-military.
And that's what it said
Yeah.
Irish Army or some shit here. So emphasis is given to his skills, accomplished driver, able to conduct seemingly impossible maneuvers while retaining perfect control of his vehicle. Like, I know that's movie magic, but
Yeah.
you guys all did movie magic, so I'm
yeah,
gonna
no,
cut
movie
in on
magic
it.
is
Yeah.
highly allowed.
Yeah.
I'm giving you some points because you're actually a good guy that's trying to help the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As opposed to a piece of shit that's just trying to escape the rest of the world.
Everybody, he's pointing at me, by the way.
And
Podcast land, you can't see that, but I am at the end of that finger.
And I wanted to keep it something that, like, not that I know a whole lot about it, but like I'm interested in how energy isn't created and like how you try and create perpetual motion machines and like just how impossible it is. So I thought it'd be cool. Like,
Yeah, no, it's a great,
you
and
did
it's
the
a need
impossible,
too,
you know, right? Like,
yeah.
but the only problem is like you could really stem off that like if there's no third world countries anymore, the world would be too populated and blah blah blah. But I'm also thinking that if all those people have education, then they won't be an issue anymore. Like India's 2 billion people, right?
Yes.
Just like like all the poor countries in Africa, like if they had technology, they could learn how to not be poor. And,
Yeah, no,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
definitely, yeah, and that technology, like those things go hand in hand with like, all right, as soon as we make this technology, we should probably put a kibosh on populating the planet because now we can last. Yeah, that's a different argument altogether. But the actual like I would feel safe in Frank's arms.
so yeah, and absolutely, so would I.
Yeah.
And as long as you respect the rules, right? Because when you hire him, obviously he's going to be like blah 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 blah, right? And yeah, fine, I just protect me.
Is it the first one that has that parkade fight scene? Is that
With the switchblades?
Yeah.
I think that's the first one. Yeah.
Yeah, that fight scene sticks, and like his martial arts
How
are
he's
incorporated.
flipping it around and he rolls it around his neck. And
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
pretty sure that's the first movie. I haven't seen them in a while. I was going to try and rewatch them this week, but I had 2 podcasts myself and a bunch of other shit, so I didn't get a chance
I mean that's what YouTube's for, right? You
to.
just
Yeah,
need the bullet
and
points.
I went to that wiki fandom. It's literally like movie wiki, and I thought that was really
That's
good. So
where
that's why
I-
I took I was reading straight off the website. So,
Yeah, No,
but I
that's,
think him. I have my honorable mentions after that will also work. But I think his up-to-date weaponry, his background and no bullshit. He's not going to screw around. He's going to get the job done and then take off, right? Like he doesn't know my name. He doesn't need to worry about it. He doesn't give a shit, right?
And you just need to get somewhere.
And be
And
protected.
how are you
while I'm
protected there?
Yeah, that was my follow-up.
See, now, if I'm in China, I'm going to assume that I'm in...
Like the
Trouble?
the triads are coming for you.
Yeah,
No,
and the Chinese like spy.
how do I
people?
how do I crush you with your own logic?
The communist spy agency who wants to take control of your arc reactor.
But I'm kind of hoping like
He's
that.
just taking Tony
but-
Stark with him wherever he
Yeah.
goes.
But, yeah.
Yeah. You should probably build a suit and then implant the perpetual energy machine in the suit.
But that'll take a lot longer. Yeah, I'll be dead.
Someone
long
wrote that
before
already?
happens.
All you need is like a cave in the desert and a
Yeah.
couple of
But
Couple
hey,
cases
like,
of missiles.
I didn't really think of where in China, but I'm assuming that where I'm going to my colleague, it's like kind of like Doc Ock had that empty building and he built that in there. No one knew it was there.
Yeah, okay.
Somehow his electrical bill's $3,000 a month, but you know what I mean? Like
So you're taking over some like retired sweatshop.
probably something like that. Yeah.
hidden deep in the bowels of the Apple factory.
Underneath the Apple factory.
It's like in Breaking Bad being underneath the fucking dry cleaners.
That's what I mean. But that's kind of what I'm hoping for. Like if this like if it was real, right? But he just needs to protect me long enough for me to build this thing, create some creepy ISIS video saying this is what I have, this is what happened. I'm gonna give the world free power, so that eventually the world's on my side, and then the government can't do anything about it, right?
No.
They're not gonna Epstein me, right? So
And the Chinese are always known for being really understanding and
technology driven, right? So
they'll open their arms to you, buddy. That's for sure.
I have the rich guy from Inception on my side, right?
Yes, you need funding from somewhere.
And besides, the government can't tell anyone that they're trying to kill me because of this machine, because I haven't told anyone yet. So they can't just be like, worldwide manhunt for a man who has unlimited power. Everyone's like, but isn't that we want unlimited electricity? So the government can't release anything either. So they got to do this under wraps and be silent about it. But until I finish the machine and then release it, then the government's kind of caught on their heels saying like, oh shit, well, the people are believing them, right? Like kind of like what Snowden did, right? So
aren't they going to wonder at some point how you're suddenly, wherever you're located, starts releasing all this energy back into the fucking grid instead of absorbing it?
That's the beautiful part of the machine. It destroys and creates energy as quickly as it's destroying it, right? So it's self-powered. There's technically no electricity to use on it.
I got one question.
Oh shit.
I want to know who's going to fucking win this debate.
Oh.
So I think it's about time to vote.
Voting.
You cannot vote for yourself?
Can't vote for yourself.
Okay.
Got to vote for somebody else. Bring out your smartphone, open up your notepad, write the name of the person you think should win. And if we have a tie, the two people who have tied will have a 1 minute rebuttal to the two people who are not considered in the debate. So, I'm going to stop that right now. Oh, hang on here. All right. I am ready. Anybody else?
Hold on a second.
Yeah. This is what you call dead air. This is what a podcast doesn't want. We got to figure it out.
Dude, there's always so much dead air on mine. I'm too lazy to write. I'm going to read through an hour and a half of... Get bent.
Bent.
I'm gonna email Alex Trebek and say from one Canadian to another, can we take your background music, please?
Yeah, no kidding.
Okay.
He's going to be dead soon anyway.
On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Mark, Denzel,
and
Denzel, and Chris. Oh my goodness.
Denzel.
Am I the first one to win? Am I the first guest to win?
No.
Shit.
No, you're not. But you are the first guest of 2020. Does that make you feel any better?
There you go.
Not 2021, which is when
you guys need
John Wick.
You guys need a wrestling
Matrix
belt
are coming out.
Yeah, that's my bad.
Yeah. What did you pick that you didn't bring? I know you've been talking to me about that all week long.
Well, there's a few other ones.
Yeah.
Dude, I had good ones. So Bob Lee Swagger from Shooter, Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
Oh,
I thought that would have been a good one.
Yeah.
The only thing that didn't win it was I wasn't sure about his hand-to-hand combat, but I know that if I'm in a building and he's got a sniper rifle, no one's coming near me, right?
Yeah, you're crow's nest for sure.
The Mandalorian.
Yes, I know that was your free
TV shows.
Yeah.
Barney from The Expendables, the Sylvester Stallone's character. I think his name was Barney, right?
Was it Barney? I've seen the first one. I didn't watch.
I don't remember. Yeah. I remember the character, but I don't remember.
I would pick that character. Literally any
character
Expendables,
from the
probably,
Expendables for sure.
And then Batman.
Because Batman is the only superhero that doesn't have superpowers. That would.
I could have picked Iron Man too, but
yeah. Well, then you get the suit, right? Unless you're just arguing Tony Stark's merit of intelligence, then
see before we were narrowing this down with the no genetic modifications, no superpowers, no aliens.
Yeah,
we could have done it's like the Olympics, and then we could have like the drug Olympics, right? Where you can have when we were talking about like Hannah.
Yes, because my pick was Hannah Heller from the movie Hannah.
Right.
And then I got into the fandom and the wiki of it and all that and was like, shit, she is DNA modified. I thought she was just a very trained from a young age and kind of very Red Sparrow, Black Widow-esque. But then I'm like, oh, the DNA is enhanced.
Well, I was going to take Lucy,
yeah.
Who just was a regular old girl hanging out, and next thing she takes a bag full of pills. And
bag full of illegal drugs.
Transcendent Man, the Johnny Depp movie.
Yeah,
where Johnny Depp is the computer. Yeah. What would you have, Chris? Any other?
No, I didn't have anything else, but I was going to mention the little tidbit of information about the Bodyguard poster.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. If I went just balls to the wall, I'm like, I'm going to pick fucking Venom, like the symbiote. He can just encompass me and protect me.
Thanos with the Infinity Stones.
Yeah, the Infinity Glove. Fuck that.
Yeah, that's what I mean, right? Like,
yeah. You're done, buddy. Keep coming.
Everyone in the
me,
world's
buddy.
gone. No one's going to kill you.
Yeah.
Like, well, it's just us now. What do you want to do?
It's just us and all the people who agree with my idea.
Yeah.
On, off.
Snap on, snap off. The power glove. Infinity. What's the background here?
Well, on the poster, the famous poster, the Bodyguard, Kevin Costner carrying out what looks to be Whitney Houston's character.
Yes, yeah.
It is the character, but it's not Whitney Houston herself. She had gone home that day, so I guess that was her stunt double. That was kind of fitting in, and the shot just came from a day of shooting. It wasn't like a picture for the poster.
Oh shit.
You know where that scene is from? It's the club scene when she's on stage and then he's got to carry her and take her out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she's supposed to be frightened, kind of deal, and that's why her head's buried into his shoulder. So he took that to the Studio X and was like, "Hey, I think this shot actually should make the poster. It's really good." And they're like, "Well, it's a good shot, but you can't see Whitney's face." So I guess they gave some. What year was the Bodyguard? 91?
91, 90,
around that?
some late 80s, early
I guess
90s.
they gave him some renditions where her face is now looking at the camera, which I don't know what the Photoshop would have really looked like back.
The back of
then.
somebody's head with a face on
Yeah,
it.
it just would have been. I don't know. So he was like, honestly, guys, I think the poster's that first picture, and that's what we got.
That's an interesting fact.
92, by the way, 1992. Yeah.
Some other notable Bodyguard movies. I don't know if you guys like the Hitman's Bodyguard.
Getting
a
a
few
sequel.
years ago.
Yes.
Ryan Reynolds, very interesting.
Ryan Reynolds has, if I remember correctly, because there's so much content in the world, he has a company. He loses his company and then has to. Is that?
Yes.
Yeah, like he kind of screws up his position in his bodyguard company.
Yeah, and then his,
A1 Protection Services.
He doesn't protect a dude, and a dude gets
and
killed.
yeah,
on
he
his
loses
watch.
all of
That's a guy gets killed on his watch or whatever.
And I feel that that's like a defining moment for a protection agency. Like one guy dead, nobody wants to hire you. You kind of go under after that.
Especially it was like, I think a high tier sort of politician or something.
Yeah,
what I remember.
and then
they're like assassinated through a plane.
and
or
it was
something.
it was the Samuel L. Jackson's character that did it, right?
Yeah, because he's the hitman. That
Yeah,
killed
he's the hitman that killed and ruined his life, and then he has to protect him.
Yeah.
So sequel coming out this year for everybody. The
Hitman.
Hitman's wife's Bodyguard.
Blake Lively, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
Could it be the two of them on screen?
It says Samuel L. Jackson, Ryan Reynolds, all back. So
Salma Hayek,
Yeah.
the real winner. Yeah, I looked up the IMDb. She's in it.
Wow.
The real winner of the Golden Globes. Did you see her outfit?
Oh my.
I am not a Salma Hayek fan.
Well, okay.
I wasn't either.
Salma Hayek and Patricia Arquette both were like, fuck the Golden Globes. It's all about cleavage today.
I am the Golden Globes. I also would have liked to pick Wade Wilson before his mutant powers. You said he was enhanced. I disagree.
Really?
Well, because at the beginning of Deadpool, he's just a dick who protects
Well, see, but that's
people,
the Deadpool
right?
lineage. But if you take Wade Wilson from the X-Men lineage, when he's fighting in the
sword
the
scene,
team, right? He's not
yeah.
Deadpool, so he's already enhanced when he comes out of that elevator and the Warlord's trying to kill him. And he
He's got the
dices through
super
1,000
speed of-
bullets with a sword.
Well,
Movie magic?
yes, but also plot hole, because if you take Deadpool's story, he was a nobody and then he was enhanced. But yet, if you look at Wolverine origin, you assume he's enhanced because he's on a team of enhanced mutants.
Yes.
But then the whole Deadpool story fucks with you on that and doesn't let you know what part of the timeline that is, because he still is good-looking Ryan Reynolds, where in Deadpool he's looked like somebody shat on his face.
But he's already
An
a hitman.
avocado,
Lit him on
fucking
fire.
older avocado.
He's a bounty
He's
hunter.
a bounty hunter,
Yeah.
hitman,
Yeah.
seedy underbelly.
I
feel like you'd get annoyed of him real quick too. Like
Yeah,
you'd be protected for 3 days and be like, you know what? I'll just get someone
shut
else.
up, Wade.
That
Shut
fucking
up,
mouth.
Wade.
Yeah.
Wade, shut up.
Yeah,
Like, just-
literally.
I would, just like in the shitty Weapon X movie, I'd sew his fucking mouth shut.
Yeah, Wade, you'd be the perfect soldier if you could keep that mouth shut. Bodyguard's one of my favorite childhood movies.
I'm trying to think what other protection movies. Arnold must have done
There-
something.
Oh,
at
there
some
are Guarding
point.
Tess with Nicolas Cage. That's In the Line of Fire with Clint Eastwood. That's a Secret Service one.
lots of those ones, right?
Yeah,
a
like
lot of them are
there's-
teams too. Like,
Yes.
you get the whole like Olympus Has Fallen.
Yes, with
you
Gerard
know,
Butler.
London, yeah, all
London
those
Has
kind of
Fallen,
ones.
Yeah,
Wasn't there a
like
Channing Tatum one too?
Channing. Yes, there
White
was.
House Down?
White House Down
Is
was
that it?
Channing
It's basically
Tatum. Yeah,
the same
thing,
movie.
yeah.
Same thing. Yeah. Isn't that weird, Chris? Like when two movies come out at the exact same time and they're the exact same plot and they're from two different studios. Like, why would one of them do that knowing? You've talked about this before.
Well, I was talking with Jimmy the other day. What I hear a lot of times, it's like someone's kind of dipped ship from the one script or whatever, the one production, has gone over to the other, and then
and then that's how it
kind of
kind of
loosely gets leaks and stuff, and then one kind of gets rushed out.
one executive producer who's pissed off and disgruntled is
Yeah,
like,
we
"Hey,
got
listen, they're
everyone-
making this. We can do it better."
Not do it my way.
Yeah.
Like how Shape of Water is just the first Hellboy movie
I haven't
with
seen
Gabe,
Shape of Water.
with Abe. the fish guy. It's
Oh,
the
the fish
same guy. It's Shape
Oh
of
my
Water
God.
is literally the same.
Shape of Water is Abe's fucking origin story.
Yeah.
I never even thought of that.
I saw the trailer. I'm like, so this is just the Hellboy plot line, right? And then they're like,
Yeah.
and then it won an Oscar. I'm like, I guess it isn't then.
It's Hellboy's plotline with interspecies breeding. Watch it. Yeah. There's
Well, was
eggs
it?
and sex.
What is it? Like Armageddon came out at the same time as
Deep
Deep
Impact.
Impact.
Yes,
which is the same
right?
fucking movie.
Or like Volcano and Dante's Peak.
Dante's Peak.
Ants and Bugs Life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one too.
Friends with Benefits and
Friend
No
Zone?
Strings Attached.
No Strings Attached.
Yeah,
Same
you
fucking
see,
movie.
Yeah, like I smell a debate coming. Which one's the better of the same story?
Ooh.
Right? Anyways,
that requires watching both those movies.
it does, which requires a lot of time that
And
I
I
don't
really
wanna
only
spend.
like one or the. Actually, no, I like Dante's Peak and Volcano.
Yeah,
There's usually a clear winner.
Yeah, there is
Yeah.
a clear winner.
Especially box office.
No, I was just gonna say you can look up the numbers. There is always a clear winner.
Yes.
Fucking Synalytics.
If you're looking to sponsor a podcast, Synalytics, we are taking.
Look
But
further
yeah,
than
but then
us.
they're gonna start replacing you guys as hosts. Like, what if we got this guy as a host and
Yeah,
it does numbers like this? Like,
exactly.
take the
Yeah.
28 previous episodes, take all of our voices.
Who else is located in Winnipeg that would do a better job of this?
Yeah,
Shit.
exactly.
Next thing you know, fucking Wheeler's got on a podcast. Even though he sucks balls. Sorry. Personal opinion.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you are. Speaking of boats, it's the end of the show. So, Chris, do you have any shows coming up? I know nobody will be able to go to the one tonight, but what do you got coming up?
Probably just Le Garage on the 25th.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yep.
you're doing another hosting.
Yep.
Cool. Is there a theme to this one?
No,
Or?
just another rounded out cast of comics.
my brother
Sweet.
said Le Garage was a great room. He's never done it. He said he loved it.
Yeah, he just did it.
Yeah. Was it
the
New
last
Year's?
one.
Was it
Yeah.
New Year's?
Yeah.
It is
He
a
said-
really.
he said he loved it, yeah.
It's a great room for. It's a great room for anything. Actually, it's
Yeah, they got great food.
Yeah.
Great drink specials. All that
awesome.
jazz.
So if you're in Winnipeg and you like comedy, go to Le Garage on the 25th to see this lovely gentleman named Chris Stanton. Are you hosting or are you?
Yep.
You're hosting. Cool. That's your host spot now, isn't it?
Yeah, like that's my.
Yeah, that's your show.
monthly room.
All right. Well, we will be there on the 20. I will be there on the 25th.
Cool.
Put my ass in the front row.
All right.
Heckle me.
No, I won't do that.
Denzel, thank you for coming on the show.
Absolutely,
buddy.
man. I'm glad I could crush you guys.
Please
Fun.
tell the people about your show.
So
Crush you.
I
Crush you. Crush your head.
I host a podcast that's an interview style, kind of like how Rogan runs his. A new episode every Sunday at 7. They're about an hour long. We talk all sorts of nonsense. It seems to be a lot of musicians lately, but I've had tons of comedians on, so that they're always a blast. But just
You are definitely like your guest list is
it's so well rounded. I try and get it so well rounded, just so that there's an episode for everyone, right?
like you got a bodybuilder on one, and then you got the guys from
Ghost Hunters on.
the beer podcast in
Yeah.
Winnipeg,
Pints and Growlers,
Pints and Growlers,
Lataki,
Lataki,
that was
and-
fun.
Yeah.
I had if you want to listen to an absolutely chaotic episode, by the time this one comes out, it'll be at number 87 with Dan Goldberg.
Oh,
you know who that is?
Yeah. He knows
Jesus
Dan.
Christ, that guy's a loose cannon, and it's the whole hour is literally just bit after bit after bit, and it's really, really good. But it's also on YouTube and everywhere you get your podcast. So,
Awesome.
Do you have any really cool guests coming up on your podcast?
A couple guys coming on Tuesday. We're gonna debate movies. I'm gonna crush them again.
Who are these
Gauntlet
gentlemen that
dropped.
that you're speaking
I have
of?
the two nice hosts of Michael and Mark coming on my podcast on Tuesday, so that'll
Hey,
be out.
hey, listen, we're all hosts. Chris is included.
Okay,
in
I'm
this.
sorry.
Yeah.
I will get all of you guys on at some point, but I got to start somewhere. So that'll be next Tuesday. It'll be on the 14th is Tuesday.
Yep.
But when does this come out?
This is out Monday. We drop
Monday.
every
Okay,
Monday,
okay.
Monday night.
So then you can look forward to that one the following Sunday. So that'll be
Sweet.
number 88.
So yeah, so follow his Instagram, follow our Instagram. We'll be sharing the episodes on.
Yes, absolutely.
on
I'll
that
be
stuff
resharing
there.
everything. It's just at Wesley Studios.
Yeah.
And go
Nice
listen to
and
his
simple.
podcast. Too.
Yeah,
Yes,
please go
there's
listen.
an episode for everyone. I don't need you to listen to everyone, but for sure pick a few.
But if you want to listen
I like
to everyone,
that. I don't need you to listen to them all. But pick
even
one or
even when I
two
tell
or-
people,
Find
I'm
your
like,
favorites.
just hit the subscribe button. I don't care if you listen, download it. It doesn't tell me how people listen. It tells me how many people download it. So
whatever you do, tell a friend.
like, share, and subscribe. I don't
Yeah,
know.
no, like
Smash
mine's,
that
buddy.
like-
Yeah.
Smash that like button. Yeah, I'll do it.
Well, thank you to everybody who's listened to another episode of The Real Debaters. If this is your first time, you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at The Real Debaters. If you want to send us an email for the show for an idea, if you want to insult one of us based on one of our debates, if you want to partake on the show and you feel that you can play the game, you can email us at therealdebaters@gmail.com. That's THEREEL debaters@gmail.com. I've been Michael Petrow.
Mark Cowell.
Chris Stanton.
And Denzel Leblanc.
And we're gone.
My ears are sweaty.